and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 108 of the It's Obvious Gaming podcast. I'm your host, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Hello, Preston. How are you on the other end of Skype this evening, or morning, or day, wherever you are in the world?
I'm doing fine. I'm only an hour away, so we should be in the same time zone. But
right. I was wondering, for the sake of everyone tuning in, it could potentially be any time of day where they're at. So I'm just trying to be inclusive here.
I thought you were talking specifically to me.
I can talk specifically to you. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Good.
How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking.
No problem. Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for including me.
Yeah, absolutely. You know I was going to get to you right after him. Like always.
I don't know. I had my doubts.
Jacob, if you were wondering, I was pointing to Preston's cube that's floating in between us currently in post. Right now, he's invisible to our eyes, but to all the viewers, if there are any viewers, he's right there next to us.
Yeah. We got a couple viewers.
We do, yeah.
A couple people.
Yeah, on YouTube, over in our home base. It's a fun party over here to all of you Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you are out there in the world tuning in.
Yeah. Garrett, you know where else it's really
YouTube,
fun?
How are you supposed to know that Garrett has long, luscious hair?
Now, luscious is a questionable attribute to say towards my hair, but that's right. You would not know had you not come over to the YouTube channel. You wouldn't know about Jacob's exquisite muscles. Of course, we describe them weekly, but it's a sight to behold, I got to tell you. So I encourage all of you guys to come over to YouTube at any point, because like I said, it's a big party, and we're 4 subscribers away from 1,600, which is pretty cool.
Are we really? Last time I looked, we were like 20 away.
Yeah,
which was like a few days ago.
Yeah, we are just under 1,600, which is just in line with meeting 2,000 by the end of the year. That's our goal. That'd be great if we could do so. So we'd love to see you guys hop on over here and say hello and subscribe if you're willing.
Yes, YouTube is an amazing place to check out all of our content, including the video version of this podcast to all our MP3 listeners. But if you have, along with youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming, also check us out at iTunes. Leave us a review. Subscribe to us, even if you don't listen to us there. That helps us out a ton. It would help us out so much getting on that new and noteworthy list.
Absolutely. That has been our goal for quite some time now. We've yet to hit it, but it's only a matter of time, and we can't do it without you guys.
Is there something like that on the Google Play Store?
I would imagine there probably is, but I'm not certain.
Hey, don't assume now.
That's the thing. You got to imagine most services, especially at the level of iTunes and Google, they're probably all copying each other. For example, I noticed that I believe it was Instagram that started at first. They made profile pictures circular, and then came, I think, another service to that. Now Twitter has moved on to these circle emblems as well. So they all kind of copy each other over time.
Yeah.
So that's just something I noticed this week.
Snapchat did the stories first, now Instagram does.
Correct.
And
You're
Facebook.
Right. Yeah, see, they all learn after each other. And in a way, I feel like it benefits all the services.
I guess.
Because they all seem to be doing quite well.
I think they're all just trying to kill each other.
Right. Not that it really matters. I mean, I got to be honest. Even though social media is a very powerful tool, I think it's the worst tool mankind has ever invented. Really? I feel like it's made the world a worse place. So without it, I feel like if we were back in the olden times where the only way you could communicate is either via telephone or by letter, perhaps, I think the world would be a much more peaceful place. How do you feel about that, Preston?
I agree with you.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know what it is about social media. Like I said, amazing things can happen on there. Like, for example, we've connected with all you around the world, and it's been an absolute pleasure and honor. There's a lot of evil doing. It's not really, I don't know, evil, but a lot of meanness goes around on the internet via social media. So this is also random. If you can, I don't know if you can see it on the video. Maybe I'll move this laptop. Perhaps you can see it. But my microphone this evening is stacked on a plethora of books for a very specific reason. You see, for years now, we've been doing this podcast. And I've been sitting like a hunchback because my torso is too long for my legs. Now, I don't look like a sloth, but me describing myself that way may make you think I look like a sloth. But I've been sitting very uncomfortably for years, and had I continued to do this for too much longer, I guarantee you I would have needed a cane or a walker in a matter of weeks probably, because I was just in so much pain by the end of every episode. So in order for me to sit up straight like a total dweeb, I'm sorry if I look like just a complete weirdo, I had to stack my mic on books so it could reach my mouth. And the books we're dealing with today are On Writing by Stephen King, Save the Cat by, I think some guy named Snyder. I can't see his first name on here. Story by Robert McKee, and The Hollywood Standard for Screenwriting. These are all books I had to purchase for my screenwriting class. I've only read about 3 pages of Save the Cat, and I was bored instantly. I have no desire to be a screenwriter. As I mentioned, it was fun to learn that. I have no desire to write movies, but That's why this looks strange, if you were wondering. That's all from me for now.
Thank you, Garrett.
Absolutely.
Garrett, I think it's time for a new segment I've been wanting to initiate. This is actually a surprise to all
You're
of you.
getting me really excited.
Oh, I'm getting you excited?
You are.
Oh, it's nothing too bad, or it's nothing too big. I just wanted to put a name on it. We typically always talk about Taco Bell, so I wanted to have our weekly Taco Bell update for the viewers out there.
Is that what we're going to call it?
I feel like we need a catchy name.
Yeah, we could come up with something really creative like what's chalupa? Or somehow to incorporate a Taco Bell item or name.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about it, or taco talk, or something with Baja Blast wouldn't be too bad. It's funny. I meant to tell everyone
Bell break.
Bell break. The Bell Report. We officially have business cards for It's Obvious Gaming now for on the occasion when we meet someone and we have an opportunity to be like, oh, we do a YouTube channel.
I need some of those.
Yeah, I can give you some. I have a massive stack of them. But when I picked them up from the store, I was on my way home and picked up a Baja Blast on the way home from Taco Bell. And when I sip Baja Blast, for some reason I like to drink it without the lid and kind of crunch on the ice as I drink it. I know you shouldn't crunch ice, but I have a bad habit of doing that. But that's what I do. And I was looking at one of our business cards at a stoplight, and it happened to slip out of my hand, and it fell into the Baja Blast and was soaked completely in Baja Blast. And which didn't matter to me, but I thought how fitting of us to unintentionally baptize our first business card in Baja Blast. And I still have that same one. You can't tell it was dunked in Baja Blast, but it still slightly smells of the tropical citrus scent.
Nice.
And I'm like, how suiting for I should just dunk all of our business cards in Baja Blast.
Yeah.
It smells very nice.
That'd make them unique.
Exactly. So I kind of separate us a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Preston, tell us about your Taco Bell experience today.
As usual, it was pretty exquisite. Yet again, I got the double chalupa. I thought I'd try it out again. And I liked it about as much as the first time I had it, which is really good. But I think that's the last one I'm gonna have. It's just a little too much. Yeah. I get so full after I eat it that I feel almost sick. So it's a little too much, but I do appreciate it though. But then I just got a quesadilla, which also is immaculate. Especially the sauce, Garrett. The sauce is truly incredible.
Okay, see, Jacob and I had a discussion about this at lunch today when we were at Taco Bell. You see, I have officially retired the sauce unless I get it on the side. And I'll tell you why, Preston. And we've had this discussion ad verbatim. But the sauce, not always, but more often than not, always overpowers the rest of the taste that the quesadilla has to offer. And you know me, I'm a steak man when it comes to Taco Bell. So that steak and cheese is just wonderful when it's together, especially when the quesadilla is packed full of it. And the sauce, man, just makes it overly soggy and I just taste that creamy jalapeno the whole time. But I will admit, on the side, it's great when I can control it. But
see, that's what the Taco Bell quesadilla is to me, is that sauce.
I get that completely.
That is like what it is. Without it, it's just anybody's quesadilla. It's not Taco Bell's quesadilla.
That's right. That's right. You want to know something else that's kind of weird, Preston? I've retired the creamy jalapeno, but I've upgraded from mild to hot sauce recently.
Really?
Yeah, no, I don't get me wrong. I still love the taste. I know, it's weird. It's because you got married. My whole life's been thrown out of whack. Which I kind of spoiled. You'll tell us about that. But I just like the taste of hot, too. Now, I go back and forth between mild and hot, but I've mostly been sticking to hot recently just to switch things up. So
hot is good.
Okay. I just like the taste of mild. The taste of mild is just so good to me.
It is. It's quite special.
I've kind of changed my Taco Bell food as well. Like I've kind of scaled back.
Yeah, you got like all soft tacos.
Yeah,
today.
I just got soft tacos today. Like when you get them when you are there and they're not, you know how they make the wrapper wet and stuff because they're like draining sauce. Like when you get them right when they're made, they're so good.
They are very tasty. They're very simple too.
Yeah.
It's too simple.
That's always been my favorite item at Taco Bell. Besides the nachos, of course.
Right.
Like it baffles me that you guys don't get the nachos.
They're not nachos. They're chips and dip.
Oh, yes, they are. It says nachos on the menu.
A Nacho Supreme is light years better than just the nachos.
Yeah, it's got that sloppy stuff on it.
Well, it's just harkening back to what you said last week, Jacob. You're a simple man with simple taste. And chips and cheese is very simple.
A Nacho Supreme is very simple. You got chips, chicken, beans, cheese, sour cream, tomatoes. That's a simple Mexican dish.
See, the problem is you're weighing all those chips down, and when you pick up a chip, what if it snaps because there's too much?
It's all
stuff
about
on it.
the technique of scooping your chip up.
No, that just shows me you've never had the nachos. That doesn't happen.
No, I'm just kidding. I've had the nachos, the real nachos there, and they're good. But like Garrett said, I'm just a simple man.
I understand.
Just like the cheese.
It's like fine. The song by Leonard Skinner.
Yes.
And then remade by, or covered by Shinedown. Which version do you prefer? I got to be honest.
Leonard Skinner.
Okay, I love the Leonard Skinner, but I also got to admit, I'm not really a Shinedown fan, but that's probably my favorite song by them, and it isn't even an original.
I don't like Shinedown at all.
Hey, shout out to Shinedown real quick. I've never been a fan, but they opened for Five Finger Death Punch. My dad's a Five Finger Death Punch fan, but he took me to that show. And Shinedown opened for them, and I got to admit, that was one of the best live performances I've ever seen, and I don't even like the music that much. I'm not saying it's bad music, it's just not really my taste. But they put on a killer performance. That's the thing about really good bands. Like, even if you don't like the music, I can always admit when I see a really, really good show, and they were one of them. Nice. So, yeah. We were talking about Taco Bell. Yeah, I had my very typical meal that it's been my go-to for a while now is the steak quesadilla minus the creamy jalapeno, like we mentioned. A fiery cheesy gordita crunch, my personal favorite gordita. And beefy nacho griller, of course. Closest thing we can get to the beefy crunch burrito. And a cheese roll-up to cap it all off. I love the simplicity of a quesadilla stuffed with melted cheese. Yeah. It's quite nice.
Those are good every once in a while.
Oh, they are, yeah. One time I went when I was having tummy problems. I still really wanted Taco Bell. I got like 6 cheese roll-ups and just had those. It was delicious.
You just make that at home.
I know. I actually made one the other night. My family had homemade tacos, and I was like, I'm going to make a homemade cheesy roll-up, and I did.
Our family does that occasionally, too.
Nice.
Homemade tacos.
Tacos are tasty, man. And, of course, I washed it all down with a Baja Blast. And, you know, Jacob, when we were leaving, going to the parking lot, I mentioned, I'm going to go back in and get a freeze and cinnamon twist for the road.
Yeah, I noticed that you didn't
Yeah, I went back in there. Some old lady was yelling at the girl at the register, and they're having an argument about something. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this. I'm going to leave. So I was a little disappointed. I was like, maybe I'll get a Frosty instead at Wendy's next door, and that line was around the building, too. So, well.
It was noon, so.
In retrospect, it's probably wiser that I avoided it today, because all the food's now settling. I have a habit of eating so quickly that I feel like I'm still hungry. And then I'll overeat, and an hour later, I feel like Jabba the Hutt, and I can't move. So, but that was my meal. It was great.
Excellent. The new Taco Bell near my neck of the woods, they're still getting their stuff together. They're extremely slow. I was the only person in the drive-thru, and it was like a 10-minute wait.
Yikes.
But hey, it was fine.
Anyone in the comments tuning in, if you can think of a really clever name for our Taco Bell segment at the beginning, that'd be awesome. I'm sure we'll think of something later, but you guys have a lot of creativity. We'd love to hear your ideas, especially those of you who are Taco Bell connoisseurs like ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would like to give a little disclaimer right here at the beginning. For some reason, I'm having a hard time. I mean, I already talk like an idiot, putting words together, but listening to you in the earbud and then trying to talk for some reason is like messing me up hardcore. So
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So if I'm
that's why you're not looking at me. Are you looking at me?
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Okay, I suggest talking to me like you're on the phone, and it's way easier because I black you out. Because last time I had you on, it was so distracting and it messed up the way I spoke too. So I just pretend like we're on the phone.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Now I know it's easier for you to pace when you talk on the phone too. So if you need to carry your mic around the room, you're more than welcome to do so.
Okay, that sounds good.
You got to take your camera with you too.
You got to hold your camera and your mic.
I can't figure out how to. Okay, there. I just have to like drag you off the screen. Okay, there we go. But yeah, just if I'm sounding a little more stupid than usual, then that's probably due to that.
Well, Preston, you sound nothing short of attractive to me through the earbud that I'm wearing. So don't worry.
He's a taken man now.
You're right.
He's a taken man. It's kind of weird. That was the funniest exchange we had when Preston's like, "Well, I'm married now." We sent Preston the funniest gifts. Sent the one of I can't remember his name, Bluth from Arrested Development, when he's locked in prison. He's like, I've made a huge mistake. And we sent the flashing game over, insert coins to continue. I was laughing hysterically at work. But,
yeah.
Tell us about that, Preston. You had a pretty big weekend.
Yeah. I got married. Nothing too big. My grandfather, what was that noise?
That was Jacob smacking his legs together.
Oh, okay.
Out of excitement.
Oh, thank you.
My legs.
Thank you. My grandfather is an ordained minister, and we just wanted to just get, just a really small wedding, just so, it's done. So we just had like a little family gathering at my parents' house where he married us there. Super laid back, casual type of thing. We are doing a actual big wedding later on at the end of the year. We're
invited, right?
What's that?
Are Jacob and I invited?
I'll get back to you about that. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get back to it soon, man. We have big plans for later on in the year. He and I are going to take a vacation without you now that you're married.
Yeah, I'll try to remember to invite you guys.
And we're trying to think about when we want to schedule our wedding.
Yeah, Jacob and I are just going to quit beating around the bush and make this thing official.
Okay.
So,
okay, cool. Yeah, that sounds great.
You're not invited to our wedding if we're not invited to yours, so keep that in mind.
I will.
I'm just going to go ahead and tell you.
Also, if we are invited, we'll live stream the whole wedding, dude. It's going to be ItsObviousGaming themed. We're going to have like Let's Play stations set up of games and stuff. And we're going to live stream the whole event. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, that'll be sick. We can do a nice vlog and stuff.
All right, we'll even have Among the Valiant play at your wedding. How about that?
Yeah. That'd be really sick.
They'll do all the wedding songs, metal style.
So, yeah, we'll be doing that maybe the end of the year. At the latest, we'll do it in the spring. But that's pretty much it. I had a fajita bar. That's what we ate.
That's cool.
And that was pretty cool, I guess. But I just really wanted it to be extremely laid back. So when the actual event happens, then it's like really, traditional and stuff. So
absolutely.
But that's pretty much all I did.
Are you wearing a ring right now?
Am I what?
Are you wearing a ring?
No. Okay, so we bought the rings, and mine, I went to pick it up at the store, and the dude pulled it out.
Did you get this from Walmart?
Yeah. Okay. One of the like quarter ring things.
Right.
So, no, we got it from K Jewelers.
Okay.
I think.
Every kiss begins with K. Is that true? Can you confirm that?
I can confirm that. That is confirmed.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if that was a big lie or not.
No, I can confirm it for you. So
great.
I walk in there, and the man pulls out both of our rings. And the first one he pulls out looks like the dinkiest tiny ring of all time. It's so skinny. It's like a little gold sliver. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I hope that's not mine. That looks like the most feminine ring of all time. So he hands it to me, and he's like, this is your fiance's ring. I go, okay, thank God this isn't mine. So he puts that in the little case or whatever it's called. Then he pulls out mine. And of course, it's bigger, it's thicker. And I think, okay, this one's fine. And he goes, do you want to try it on? And I just was like, no, I'm fine. Just throw it in there. I already figured I'd have to get it resized because I didn't really know my size. I just like took a ruler, measuring tape, and like did a really like probably incredibly inaccurate measurement of my finger. So I just did it based on
where this is a thumb ring though, I thought too, or a toe ring. Which one was it? A thumb or a toe?
Toe.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I thought he was going to pull his pants down and put it on.
Oh, that kind of ring.
Yeah.
No, that's saved.
Is that not what you do when you're married?
That's typically saved for a second or third wedding.
Oh.
Typically. So not everyone reaches that point, but it's really special tradition when you reach your second or third marriage.
So I got back to the house, tried it on. It was way too big. Like I couldn't, it wouldn't even sit on there. It just rolled, off immediately. And it's incredibly thin, super thin. Looks like a really feminine ring. So I actually, after this podcast is over, I'm going to run back up there, return it, and I'm going to order a much thicker ring that's going to fit. So as of now, I'm not wearing anything. So I'm still to the public. I'm available. So
I think it'd be cool if a couple had rings from the Lord of the Rings as their wedding rings. Like one of them has the Ring of Power, of course. And
I'm sure that's never been done.
Yeah,
I'm sure a million people have done that, but that'd be so rad.
Yeah. So yeah,
maybe one could be like the one in Shadow of War.
Yeah, Shadow of War, the blue one. That looks so cool. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. So yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. Like I said, super laid back. Yeah, that's it.
That's really exciting, Preston. It's weird now. Not really weird, but I got to get used to calling Lizzie your wife. Preston and his wife are coming over.
Waifu.
Yeah, I know. I still haven't really, I don't think about it. I don't think it's hit me yet because it's just so weird.
I guess you've reached the end game content then of life. You're married, you have your own house, you have a secure job.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I was coloring squares again for my art class earlier this week at school. So I'm moving up in the world quite swiftly.
I'd say so.
I've passed the tutorial phase of life. I'm definitely in the bulk of the content right now.
Yes.
Still leveling up, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, but Preston, man, he's on top. That's because he platinums every game. It makes sense that he's the first one to get married and have a secure life.
Exactly. I have to platinum life before anybody else.
Now he's building up his backlog, his experience.
Correct. Yeah. You can dabble in some other titles.
He'll soon be a veteran.
Absolutely. Well,
unless you're going to stick to the one RPG you've been playing.
Speaking of platinums, as we talked last week, my goal was to start Metal Gear Solid 5 to platinum it.
Okay.
Well, alas, another game has taken my interest yet again. So, poor Metal Gear Solid 5, I always give it a chance, but something just interests me more, and I have to once again put it on my backlog. And that game in particular was Final Fantasy XIV.
The new DLC, I assume.
Well, see, I haven't even bought that yet. I never even got to the in-game content of the vanilla, base game. So I didn't feel like purchasing I believe it's called Stormblood, the expansion pass or whatever. Well, let me start from the beginning. I used to play that a lot when it initially released on PS4. I had some coworkers that played a ton. Like that was their game. I typically, play the new releases and stuff. So there's not really a game that I can stick with for like months at a time, because that's just I don't know. I feel like I'm, not I'm just not keeping up with everything if I'm not playing the new releases and I'm able to talk about them. So that's not really my style. So I would play 14 for a couple of weeks. Something new would come out. I'd put it down for a little bit, but I would have, I'd inevitably come back to it. But I was so far behind my coworkers. Like they're doing the max like level raids and stuff, and I'm still like, trying to get to max level. But regardless of that, even though they had left me, I was still enjoying playing solo and stuff. But I hit something big came out. I forgot what it was. I got to like level 40 and I stopped playing for months, like a long time. Well, the bug hit me again, or bit me, to come back to the game. And I tried to log in and I forgot my password. I forgot the email that this game was associated with. I forgot everything. And the weird thing about Final Fantasy XIV is that you create a Square Enix ID that is connected to your PlayStation Network ID, and you can't change it. So you can't swap, like you can't come over to my PlayStation and enter your ID and log into your account. They don't allow you to do that. My John Puba Square Enix ID is connected to my John Puba PlayStation Network name. So like I said, I didn't know my email, didn't know my password, didn't know how to recover it due to that. So for me to play this game, I would have had to have created a new PlayStation Network ID and completely start over from the beginning. So the thought of doing that just really made me sad, because I'd put tons and tons of hours, like probably close to 100 hours into this character that just, like, he's gone, doesn't exist anymore because I forgot all my information. Well, Danny O'Dwyer, the No Clip documentaries, they just recently put up the Final Fantasy XIV documentary about how the original base game just sucked when it was released, and behind the scenes they were creating a Realm Reborn version, which improved everything and is a really, really solid RPG that millions upon millions of people play, today and stuff. So great documentary. Check it out, especially if you like No Clip stuff. But watching that, it invigorated me to want to play that game. So I tried to log in. I tried every password under the sun. I still wasn't getting it. And they locked me out of my account. And it was like, you have to wait hours or something to try again. So I wasn't going to let that stop me. So I went on the customer service website. I told them my issue that was going on, and they gave me a phone number to call with a ticket number to give them. So I called the phone number and no dial tone. The number doesn't exist. So I look up another one, no dial tone. I look up another number for the UK customer service, no dial tone. So I'm getting extremely aggravated now. So I email them the issue, and they say they'll contact me within 2 days. 2 days goes by, nothing. So I'm getting really pissed off at this point. All I want to do is just log in and play this game. And it's become like, it's irritating me so much that like no matter what, I was going to get inside this account, even if I play it for like a day. Like I didn't care. It was just the principle at this moment. So I was finally able to get in a chat room with this guy who walked me through the process of resetting my password and finding my email. And he asked me for my address, and I gave him my parents' address, and he said that wasn't correct. So I just sat there thinking, I was like, where else did I live? And then the apartment hit me. Mm-hmm. So I had to look for the apartment address, and I found it and gave it to him, and he was like, yep, that's correct. So then he was able to give me like my email and stuff. And anyways, there's even more stuff. Like I was spelling my email with a lowercase letter, and it was supposed to be capital letter, even though it's not a capital letter. I don't know, just a bunch of stupid stuff. But anyways, I was able to get in, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's such a fun game. Having played it already, it's fun to like start over and like know all the systems and stuff. So I'm not just like reading all these tutorials. I'm able to just get in there and just start knocking out quests and stuff. But I'm already up to like level 30. And if you have any interest in playing this game, you can play to level 35 for free, like without paying a monthly subscription. I do think you have to buy the base game, which is like either $10 or $20, but you can play, tons of hours to get to level 35 without having to pay a subscription. And even the subscription isn't too bad. It's just $12.99. But yeah, that's pretty much what I played for a majority of this week. But being in the Final Fantasy mood and having the season's pass for Final Fantasy 15, I started up episode Prompto. And Garrett, I talked to you on the phone about it a little bit, but it's an excellent DLC. Prompto is definitely one of my favorite characters out of the gang. Probably my favorite besides Noctis. And they blend third-person shooter gameplay with the Final Fantasy, the classic gameplay that was in the base game, and it works incredibly well. Like, it sounds odd, but being able to like headshot somebody and do like a cool special move and like dodging, and there's hiding behind cover and stuff, picking up different weapons. Yeah, just going kind of through the story where, do you remember when Prompto was like shoved off the train? Noctis was like possessed by the bad guy and shoved him off the train, and he was gone for a while.
Yes. Yeah,
you just pretty much see what goes on during that time.
Nice.
But cool. Really for the price, it's $4.99. It took me about like 5 or 6 hours to beat it. So
it's a good deal.
That's like $1 an hour.
Yeah. Really good price. There's even like a little small open world hub area where you can like drive a snowmobile around and do like side missions and stuff. So far better than episode Gladios. I actually finished that before I started Prompto, and I'm in like looking back on it. I don't think that's a really good DLC. I'm not really a big fan of Gladio. He's definitely my least favorite. And there was a boss at the end where you actually had to fight Core, and it was extremely frustrating. And it's the most irritated I've gotten out of a video game in a long time fighting him. But Prompto DLC was excellent. And also, speaking of DLC, I started up the Master Trials, and I'm like on the 5th tier of that, having a lot of fun with that. So I'm kind of saving it.
Zelda DLC, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
For those who don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of saving that for, I think I have to fly at some point in the next month or two. So I'm kind of just saving that for the plane ride. And then I played a little bit of VR. I played the Spider-Man Homecoming VR experience, which might be the shortest thing I've ever done in my entire life.
Right.
But it got me hyped for the movie even more. I thought
I was going to bring that up at some point. Let's just talk about how hyped we are for Spider-Man Homecoming for a minute.
Oh yeah. Very hyped.
Yeah, I am just as excited for this as I was for Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is saying a lot because the movies I get most excited about are Batman movies, Spider-Man movies, and Star Wars mostly. And I remember the feeling I had for Force Awakens, how pumped I was, and I'm just as excited to see Tom Holland's Spider-Man on the big screen in a full-length feature film coming off of Civil War, because I knew we were excited about it, but after all the reviews that have sprinkled out since the movie's pre-screenings, it has had me freaking out to see it, so I cannot
I think there was only one time when I was more excited than Force Awakens to see a movie, and that was Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
Nice.
I was so excited to see that.
I was very excited as well, the conclusion to that epic and magical franchise that it is.
So sad that it's over.
It is. You know, sort of relive those feelings, though, when you ride the Escape from Gringotts ride at Diagon Alley at Universal Studios.
We were there about a year ago.
Yeah, see, when we rode that ride for the first time, Preston cried. I felt the burn deeply, but I never let out the tears. So I always feel the burn, but I never let them out. So it was quite emotional for the two of us. But
I'm so bad about letting it out. I try so hard to keep it in, but
you shouldn't be ashamed. It's okay. It's quite all right to cry.
Dude, I cried at the wedding. I couldn't help it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that? I think that's pretty normal, though.
No, that's pretty normal. Yeah. See, I don't know what it is about me. Maybe I just am cold-hearted, but I just would never cry at a wedding. It doesn't matter who it is.
Well, the thing that got me
is
that I was really good. I was really good until Lizzie said her vows, and she busted a tear. And I was like, oh, man, other people crying makes me automatically cry.
Right. I get that.
Then and I could hear my mom in the background crying. So I couldn't look at her. So I just stared straight. And then as it was coming to an end, my grandfather grabbed my shoulder and was said something like, "You're my little buddy. I'm so proud of where you've gotten." And I was just like, ah, it got me. So yeah,
that sounds great. Yeah. I can already picture it now.
Oh yeah. But yeah.
Were your vows I promise to be the gnarliest what's short for husband? Hubby? I don't think people say hubby.
Yeah.
I mean, the gnarliest husband you've ever seen, babe. That's all for me.
Mm-hmm. I didn't write.
That's probably what I would say.
I didn't write any.
Crowd.
Yeah. So I just did the generic thing. I wasn't gonna. I suck at writing so bad. I wasn't gonna write something. So
that's all right.
Okay.
You could have performed a song or something.
Yeah, I'll save that for the big shebang, and you can accompany me. You can be you can harmonize with me.
I'd be happy to do so.
Okay. We can use Jacob as the instrument. We can both play drums upon him.
I'll be a dancer.
Yeah, Jacob will be the background dancer. That'd be great.
Yeah,
that would be great.
I'll just dance through the aisles.
You wear a hula skirt?
Sure.
That'd be great.
Whatever you want.
I envisioned him interpretive dancing, in a leotard.
Absolutely.
Nice.
That works too.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Speaking of leotards and such, we have for the Spider-Man VR experience, which everyone has probably seen by now. It's 5 seconds long. We're, of course, going to put out a Let's Play for that. We're going to do something a little extra special for that one. So we'll keep it under wraps till it comes out, but I'm already laughing now, and I look forward to putting that out later this week, closer to when the movie releases.
I'm going to come off as huge fanboy right now, but... Or I probably won't. I'm just so irritated at seeing, for instance, the Spider-Man Homecoming VR thing, people with horrible VR setups demoing it, like IGN, where the tracking is flying around everywhere.
Right.
It's so irritating. It's so easy to set up, a good VR environment with not. I'm sure they in the studio that they're shooting it in there's lights everywhere and stuff, which is probably interfering with it. But just their move controllers were glitching out and stuff. I played the entire thing and it did not glitch or do anything. Holy crap.
Now, I don't know if the noise gate stopped that or not, Jacob, but that was awesome.
It had to come out.
That was great. Dang. That was good.
Excuse me.
But my experience with the Spider-Man thing was, I think flawless is too strong of a word because it was cool, but it wasn't amazing. But in terms of it working, it worked flawlessly for me. So nothing glitched out. Everything was accurate in terms of head tracking and aiming with the move controllers.
Did you play sitting down?
No, I stood up. You can't play Spider-Man sitting down. You can't do that.
That's a good point, dude. I told you. It's cool that this is a pretty little decent experience, but I told you after playing that sprint vector game at E3, where not only do you climb walls like Spider-Man, but you run and leap as if you were leaping off a building in that game. And I can only imagine, I'm tempted to email them because I have their card. I want to email them and be like, hey, make a Spider-Man game that isn't called Spider-Man, just so we can say we've played a Spider-Man VR, because you have all these abilities that make you feel like Spider-Man. You're just not shooting web. So imagine if you could shoot a web and swing. How awesome that would be.
You just call it rope swinger.
Right. And I already know what it can feel like, because in Titanfall 2, which I'll talk about in a little bit, I was using my grapple hook. And on the new map War Games, there's these big swoops where you can attach to something way up high and swing like Spider-Man. Yeah. And you can feel the weight and the physics of that swing and imagine that in VR, dude. Holy crap. And they'd have to, the reason why I see the Sprint Vector people, not only have they already created a game that has similar abilities to Spider-Man, but I told you they created that thing called the fluid locomotion system where somehow magically you don't feel motion sick while playing it. It's incredible. And for me, especially because I'm very prone to motion sickness in VR. So they're the ones to do a quote unquote Spider-Man game in VR if anyone's going to do one. I don't even mean, it could be like a Batman type game where it's not very long, but it's just enough to where you can swing around a city, climb a wall and stuff. It'd be so cool. One can dream, but we'll see.
Yeah. See, they give you a taste of that in the Homecoming VR thing. The very end, you get a swing, and it's pretty cool. But then it just like stops with a black screen, ends out of nowhere. So, but besides that, it's whatever. And then I dabbled in one more VR game. Forgot the name of it, but it's been out for a little bit. It's called Amulet something. It's like a tower defense game where there's 4 different heroes that you can play as. One's like an archer, one has guns, one is a wizard, and another one does something else. But the demo allowed you to play as a wizard and an archer. And it's pretty cool using the Move controllers to shoot a bow and arrow. It works just like a bow and arrow would. You just pull it back and let go. And
that's cool.
It feels really cool. And then the mage was also cool to play as you hold a spell book in one hand and your wand in the other, and you like pull your spell book trigger and like an orb floats out of it, and you catch it with your wand, and then you have to like throw it at the enemies.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it actually was really fun. It's multiplayer too, which was interesting. I think you can co-op with a buddy and just fight the waves of dudes.
Nice. That'd be kind of fun to do a Let's Play for that or something. I think Carlos, if I'm not mistaken, in Discord mentioned that game and that we should play it. It may have been Carlos. Forgive me if it was someone else.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to play. I enjoyed, from what I played, I had a lot of fun with it. So it's like $15. But like I said, from what I played, it was pretty solid. So I think... yeah, that's all I played, and I'm itching Garrett. Like, tomorrow I'm going to buy it. Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say I'm interested in picking it up myself for one reason in particular, and just because of the hype of the game. But
it's because you can play as Coco, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah. But one thing specifically, which we'll talk about later, makes me want to buy the game just in hopes of a result of something else happening because of my purchase. So
the themes. You want the PS4 themes.
Well, that too. I think that's pretty cool. But just the everyone's contribution to the purchase of the game may, in fact, bring another franchise back to life, which everyone can probably know of what I'm thinking of.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Yeah, from what I've seen, the game looks cool. I mean, I have no like nostalgic, feelings towards the original trilogy, but I don't know. It just looks like something different, something fun, and it does help that it has 3 platinums as well, which is very enticing to me.
Oh yeah.
So, but yeah, that'll do it for what I played this week.
Awesome. What'd you play this week, Jacob?
I played one thing and one thing only, and that just happened to be A Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda, not A Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which legend specifically?
Is it The Breath of the Wild or A Breath of the Wild?
It's just Breath of the Wild.
Just Breath of the Wild.
It's just Breath.
Okay.
I really botched that.
A Legend of Zelda: The Breath of the Wild.
The Breath of Wilds.
Yeah.
Jacob, tell me how overrated this game is.
It's so overrated. It's so empty.
Yeah,
music sucks.
It's stupid. There's nothing to do outside of finding shrines.
All my weapons keep breaking. The game's broken.
Yeah. Just a side note real quick, you botching the title of the game, it reminds me of when we were doing Among the Valiant, mine and Preston's metal band, and everyone would mistake our name for Amongst the Valiant, and I always thought that sounded so stupid. And I mean, Among sounds cooler than Amongst to me, and everyone would be like, Amongst the Valiant, right? And be like, yeah, that's the one. I remember we had one of my teachers mixing for us for a while. Which I hope he doesn't listen to this podcast, but his mixes sucked ass compared to other people.
So bad.
Maybe he just wasn't familiar with the genre or something, but they were just awful. And he kept referring to us as Amongst the Valiant. And that always rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. And I wasn't ever mad at him. I was just like, that sounds so bad.
Dude, that was so disappointing.
It was. I remember because it took him a while. Obviously, he's very busy being a teacher, but he was kind enough to mix for us, and it took him forever. And he'd send us demos of what he was working on. And I'm like, this is horrendous. I mean, granted, on our end, the performance wasn't that great either. We didn't play to a click. It was a total disaster of a recording. But the final product turned out just fine. But I remember the road to getting to that point was an absolute nightmare. I think we had like 3 or 4 different people try to mix it until we found our guy that we stuck with for the remainder of that band's life cycle. So
gotcha.
That's just a side note. Amongst the Valiant, A Breath of the Wild, or A Legend of Zelda, as you said.
Yes.
How you feeling about it? I know it's a piece of crap game, but other than that, how you feel
I mean,
about
it's hard to get through it. Like, it's so annoying.
Right.
But no, the game's really great. I feel like, I've had my Switch for a while, and I've just been playing Mario Kart on it and a little bit of Sword Knight. But for the first time, like
Sword Knight.
You said Sword Knight?
Shovel Knight.
Okay.
Sorry, God.
Do you even play Nintendo, dude?
It doesn't sound like it.
Sword
Knight's on everything.
Well, Sword Knight doesn't exist, but Shovel Knight is obviously beyond Nintendo.
Is Shovel Knight on PS4 and Vita?
It is, yeah.
Okay. But like I was saying, for the first time, I'm in love with my Switch because I'm playing Zelda. Like, I'm always thinking about it. Instead of just sitting up in my room, I'll take my tablet downstairs and talk to my family as I'm playing, which is cool because I've never really done that before while I'm playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed the tutorial. Like, I know it's a tutorial and everything, and most tutorials aren't that exciting, but I thought it was cool how we were isolated on this plateau on a mountain, and you couldn't get down. You had to talk to the old man, and turns out he was the king of Hyrule or something. It's not really a spoiler, but I thought that was cool. And then I think it's cool how the game just literally opens up and just go. Go anywhere you want.
There's no direction in particular that you need to go in.
Right, but obviously, I see towers and shrines, and they're big glowy objects. I'm going to go to those, so I did, and I've enjoyed all the shrines a lot. None of them really stumped me so far, which is cool. There was one that I went into where one of those little guardians rose up out of an elevator.
Yeah,
you had to fight him, and he was taking no damage, so I just quit and ran out. I'll save it for later. But like I said, really enjoying the game so far. Just been going around killing stuff, exploring. Been upgrading my Sheikah slate, to do the camera and whatever the amiibo stuff. And I think it's cool how you can search for certain items that you want in the world just by scanning it, which is cool. Then it tracks you. It tracks just how the shrines do on the Sheikah slate, which is cool. But right now I literally just got I'm at the Zora that they're called, the little swimming people.
Yeah, the swimming people. The fish people. I'm
literally about to go up the trail to start the trial, I guess, to get the first guardian. So
nice.
I'm excited. Do I need wooden weapons? Is there going to be a lot of lightning?
It'll help if you have wooden weapons. Yeah,
'cause I don't have any. I don't know where to get them.
So,
but I'm really enjoying it. I'll definitely have more to talk about as the weeks, progress.
Yeah.
But super excited to be playing it.
Absolutely.
And it's, I'm hoping it's definitely going to be up there with my other Game of the Year's choices.
Yeah, 2 of the Divine Beasts should be a breeze for you, considering you've not really played them, but seen them.
Yeah.
Or at least you'll have refreshers.
Right.
So that's a plus.
It's kind of a bummer, but at the same time.
The only one I think I got stumped on was the first one we did, the one you're headed towards the big elephant.
Yeah, it's the one in the water.
Yeah, because we didn't realize you could manipulate the thing, and it took us forever to figure that out. But after you know that, doing all the rest is
Can you
easy.
manipulate all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
But yeah, I mean,
love that game.
That is a little bit of a bummer. You've seen the Divine Beast, but those are, I wouldn't say my least favorite part of the game, but just the journey getting to all of those is just so much better
than actually playing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine, but just I don't remember the Divine Beast when I think about my time with the game. I think
I'm the same way. What do you remember predominantly?
Predominantly?
Is it just shrine hunting, essentially?
Yeah, the main thing that stuck out to me was just my quest for the Master Sword.
Right.
Just hearing at some stables them talk about it, but they never really tell you where it is. And then just based on my past experiences playing Zelda, when I found the Lost Woods, I was just like, oh crap, is it in here? And then just going through that and finally finding it, it was just so exciting compared to, you know, other Zeldas where when you follow that linear path from temple to temple, you know, eventually you'll come to the Master Sword, where this one, like, I found it myself. That was really exciting. And then also my journey up to Death Mountain was just so freaking fun to me too, because I love the Gorons. So I just enjoyed that part of the game a lot too. So
nice.
Yeah.
The game does feel a little bit empty. I don't know if that's because of the power of the Switch or if it's just meant to be, I don't know, a peaceful world. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes it just feels like there's nothing around you, and I don't know if it bothers me, but I mean, it does. Like, the game looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's just barren. I don't know if I'm making sense.
You know what the exciting part is that it may appear barren, but in reality, there are secrets around every bend.
Right. Like, I know there's tons of treasure everywhere.
Right. I know what you mean, though. It does feel like at some point.
Sometimes it doesn't feel like there's life
happening around here.
Yeah.
But
that's such a minor gripe.
Yes,
there's so many other things to look forward to.
Right, and in most open world games, you kind of need more stuff. But this one, I kind of like the fact that there's some areas where it's just completely peaceful. It's just like the wind blowing and farm creatures scurrying around and everything. And there's like a river in the distance. I mean, there's moments like that.
The music is phenomenal.
It is.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think. I think it was in some village that I was in. The music was so good. I think it was like that bagpipe music or whatever.
Is that Kakariko Village?
I think so. It's
okay. I don't know if I recognize that one, but I know when you say bagpipe, I think that's that village. Maybe it's Hateno Village or whatever it's called up in
That's it. That's
that one.
It's
okay.
Hateno.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Love the game. Can't wait to keep playing.
Nice. Yeah, you were playing a good bit earlier.
Yeah, first time I played it with a Pro Controller.
Yeah, how'd you feel about it?
I want one.
Cool.
Oh, dude, the Pro Controller, I do not want to play Zelda without it.
I feel it's funny, I've played 90% of the game on handheld, but every chance I get to play on Pro Controller, I do. Like this Trial of the Sword, I've been playing with a Pro Controller, which is basically a must, I feel like.
I don't like playing handheld mode. Like, I feel like, especially when you have to aim and stuff, like, it's weird with the tablet.
I've actually gotten used to aiming with the motion controls of in handheld mode. But yeah, that controller is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't mind the Joy-Con controller. I mean, it's fine. It is a little
like my hands are too close together when I play on that
I'm used to it though. It's
but,
cool.
Yeah, I dealt with it for a while.
I think the main reason why I haven't gotten the Pro Controller is because I want to at least play some of it with the regular controller. Just, I don't know. Because when I get the Pro Controller, I'm never going to use anything else. So I want to get some use out of the Joy-Cons, I
feel you. That's okay, Jacob.
Jacob, go back when you have some time. Go back to Hateno Village and find a man that's selling a house.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. It's the best side mission in the game.
You thought it was the best side mission in the game?
Yeah,
I need a lot of money.
All I recall from that, I guess you eventually, I don't want to spoil it because it's pretty fun. I guess what I'm thinking of towards the end of that quest where you kind of create something else in addition to your home. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, just because that side quest it's definitely, I think, the longest in the game. It's just something you can do. It's just a good side quest to take on early because you can just, as the game goes on, you're like slowly knocking out this side quest.
Yeah.
So
that is true. I was going to say that one takes you all around the world.
Yeah.
That doesn't really tell you where to go specifically, but inevitably you'll have had to have searched most of the world to complete it.
Yeah.
So
it'll make it like you said, it doesn't tell you where to go, but as you're going or if you've been somewhere, it'll make sense where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
So
I have a brown spotted horse named Whiskey.
Whiskey, that's a good name.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah,
I like that horse.
Yeah, is he good?
Slow.
Is he a good boy? Or is it a girl?
It's a girl.
Okay, Whiskey the girl.
Yeah.
That's cool. I have Aloy as my female horse. She's blue.
I remember, yeah.
No particular reason. I named her Aloy because I was playing Horizon at the same time, obviously. And Gilbert is my latest horse. He's a black horse.
Yeah,
and he has higher stamina.
So how do you get like higher?
Gilbert.
Like how do you get the ability to tame a solid color horse?
You have to have. I think you have to have stamina high enough to tame one.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Well, I have Epona, so
there you go.
So yeah.
Yeah, you had to buy Epona, whereas we lassoed our. No, we didn't lasso them, but we tamed our horses in the wild.
We jumped on our horses.
It's more meaningful. Yes,
Yeah.
we mounted them with rage and disdain, and they were not happy about it, but they eventually came around. Yeah.
Well,
so we earned our horses. We didn't buy them.
Hey, man, up until Epona, I had an ancestor of Zelda's horse. I did that side quest. So
that's pretty cool.
I did
Is
feel
that the
bad.
white horse?
Yes, the white horse.
Nice.
I had all my horse slots were filled up when I had Epona, and I just deleted one without even thinking. I was like, yeah, one of you has to go. I don't know. I hope not.
They take it out back and slaughter it.
Probably. But
fantastic.
That is all you played this week, Jacob?
Yeah, I didn't play anything else.
Nice. I'm surprised. Oh, you did a little Overwatch though, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I had an Overwatch stream.
You did.
It was fine.
Cool.
Just play a little. I played some quick play. I think that's it.
Nice.
It was me, Harley, and God forgive me, I can't.
Kyle.
Think. Yeah, Kyle was there, and I think
Sean.
Yes. God, you're so good with names.
I watched part of your stream.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Okay. So yeah, we're just goofing around.
Nice. I donated to the chat too.
You donated?
Or I donated to our Twitch channel.
Did you?
I donated $1 million to our Twitch.
Oh, thanks.
Do we get tips on our channel?
I think we have a donate tab.
Yeah. We do. We have one.
I don't know
Twitch
why
channel.
anyone would donate right now, but we appreciate it for sure. So yeah, speaking of Twitch, we are back to streaming every Tuesday and Thursday night, usually around 9 o'clock Eastern. And whenever we announce when we're going to stream, we typically say, oh, and so hours or minutes will be live, just so people around the world don't have to be like, what time is 9 Eastern in my time zone? So whenever you see us tweet or Facebook or anything about us going live, we'll always say like, oh, in an hour we'll be live. Blah, blah,
Are you
blah.
guys streaming this Tuesday?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if we'll be able to stream Thursday if we're going to go.
Oh yeah, Tuesday's 4th of July, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. If anything, we might do like a Monday night or Wednesday night stream or something instead this week.
This week might not work out. We'll see.
So I can do Thursday night. Well, actually, I think we're seeing Spider-Man Thursday night.
Unless, you said you're getting home at like 7. I mean,
no, I get out of class at 7:30.
Oh yeah, there's no way.
So, yeah, but I will. I think we'll probably stream. Maybe we'll do Monday, Wednesday this week, perhaps. So we'll say all that online, but we'd love to have you guys join us in our Twitch streams. We'd love to grow our Twitch audience, like we've said. We had a couple weeks where we did not show up on Twitch due to our schedules conflicting exponentially, especially when I went to E3 and stuff. And when E3 was happening, you guys were streaming every day. So we look forward to doing that weekly with you guys. And of course, if our Twitch channel continues to grow, we'd love to do streams more often, if not several days a week. Well, several's a full week, but a few days a week or possibly some weekend days as well. But yeah. Games I played. I don't know why I'm sitting like I am. I'm holding this piece of paper like it's a telescope. And I don't know. I can never get comfortable in the seat. I thought using the books would help me out, but it's
still not working out.
I think what I need is
because your arms aren't raised up.
I think so. I think if I was sitting up straight and my arms had some support right here, so maybe I can get 2 more sets of books to rest each elbow on books on either side, then I would be comfortable. Just this long torso. Maybe I am a sloth.
Maybe.
So
I'm jealous of your long torso. I wish I wasn't so short.
You're not short.
I'm short.
I'm regular sized. You're like an inch shorter than I am.
I'm not an inch shorter than you.
Are you not?
No. I'm 5'10".
I don't know how tall I am. I think
you're like over 6 foot.
I'm like 6'2", I think.
Yeah, it's much more than an inch.
I think I'm just average size too, but
you are not average size.
What I was gonna say was, tall. You are not average. I'm average size.
I don't know what average size is considered.
Like, for a male, it's
like 6
5'8"
foot,
to
right?
5'10".
6 foot?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Female is like 5'4", I think.
Well, Jacob, think of it this way. At least you don't look like Lord Farquaad from Shrek.
That would be devastating.
I had a teacher. This is such a random funny story, but I had a trig teacher in high school my senior year who, long story short, one of our buddies, I won't say who it is for the sake of embarrassment, but one of our buddies' girlfriends hooked up with this one teacher I had, and I was in this class with her, and you could clearly tell something was going on between her and this teacher, but it was so funny because the poor guy was not only a teacher, but he was the tennis coach, and everyone called him Lord Farquaad because he was short and looked just like Lord Farquaad from Shrek. And these 2 kids in my class definitely failed, but they would just harass him all class. He's one of those teachers that would just take everyone's shit and then just would never say anything. And they, as a joke in the middle of class when he was trying to teach, looked up his college stats from his tennis days, and they're like, hey, coach, it says here you went like 1-12 your senior year. And he was like, those stats, some of them aren't correct. And some of those people, he like made up all these excuses, like cut off class and had an argument about his senior college tennis record with these 2 students. It was so funny. Good times in that class. That was one of those classes where it was so out of control that me and our buddy Logan could literally leave for about half an hour, walk around the school and come back, and he wouldn't even realize we left. That's how laid back it was.
I had him my junior year. I don't remember what subject it was, but I used to bring in my Game Boy. We used to play Pokemon in the back of the class.
That's great. Yeah,
fun.
He ended up getting caught, not red-handedly with that girl, but somehow it was confirmed that something was going on, and he was fired. And the last I heard, he's not there anymore. The last I heard, he was working at a bowling alley not far from where we live.
That sucks.
And it was sad too, because the first thing he ever showed us in the first day class was his wife and his son.
Yeah.
And how awful is that? And the last time, I think he was forced to give us all passing grades too, because the whole class was failing. So I told you it was so out of control. We didn't learn a thing. And I remember the last time I saw him was at graduation, and he was in his cap and gown as well. I just gave him, the old head nod, and that was that. It was the last time I saw him.
Nice.
So I hope he's well, despite the horrendous mistake he made. So that's such a random story. I don't know where that came from. Lord Farquaad, we were talking about our height.
Yeah.
And that all spawned from me looking like a sloth. But I was going to say is if I could just lay in my bed on my back and get one of those crane stands we're talking about for our mics, maybe we can all just lay in bed together and mount the camera like a sky cam.
We get desks for our beds.
Right. That, or just we can all lay next to each other on our back and just look straight up at the sky cam. That'd be much more comfortable. It'd also be unique. Maybe we'd hit the new and noteworthy page if we did a podcast like that.
Fat slobs in bed.
Right. That'd be cool. The games I played this week.
What'd you play?
I jumped into Titanfall 2 to enjoy the new War Games map. It was a free update, and there's a couple other updates they made to the game. Like now you can have 2 primary weapons in addition to a Titan weapon, which is nifty. I think the first game was like that, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I didn't play much of the first game, so I can't confirm that, but I think that's what I read. But that game, dude, every time I go back to it, it's not enough for me to want to play it all the time, but every time I go back, and Preston knows this, that game is one of the best feeling shooters I have ever played by far. It just feels incredible, and you're always in complete control. And like I said, just using my grapple hook to fly across or run across a wall and jump off and use my grapple hook to swing is so satisfying when you swing and like shoot someone out of the sky and everything.
Yeah. It's ironic you say that because I feel like no one plays it or no one talks about it.
I know it sucks for Respawn, because everyone knows that game basically was sent out to die in addition to everything that came out around it, which really sucks for them. But that game, I cannot commend it enough. I mean, the campaign alone is fantastic, but the gameplay is so smooth and it feels amazing to play. And the War Games map is cool. I really like the design of it. It's very neon. It's very wide open. I love the big wide open maps in Titanfall because there's so much room to play. But it was a lot of fun, and I actually played for about 3 hours until I got the match I uploaded to our YouTube channel, which is under 5 minutes, which I kind of like, because sometimes every now and then, I don't know about you guys tuning in, but I enjoy really, really short Let's Plays from time to time. Like, say I'm eating a snack or a quick meal, and I have time for like 5 minutes. I like videos like that sometimes, so that was kind of the goal of that video. But I played for hours because I was so frustrated because every match I played, one of 2 things would happen. I would either play very, very well and we would lose, and it would just make me mad. I'm like, I don't want to even if I play well, I don't want to upgrade or upload a match where we lose. I was like, and then we would win, but we would win so drastically that I wouldn't see hardly anyone the whole time. It'd just be gameplay of me running along walls, and then we'd randomly win a match. So it's back and forth like that for 4.5 hours until I finally got a match where I not only killed a bunch of people, but we won, which was good. I remember getting so frustrating, even though the game's really good, I was getting so frustrated that was happening for hours. I wanted to go to bed, so if I had class the next morning, I had to get up in like 2.5 hours. I was like, I'm not giving up on this. So it was really fun, though. I really enjoy Titanfall every time I go back to it. But in addition to that, we talked about playing the Master Trials DLC for Zelda. And Trial of the Sword has been a lot of fun. We have parts 1 and 2, the beginning trials and the middle trials, uploaded to our YouTube channel of me.
3 should be up soon, right?
Hopefully, after I edit the podcast today, I'm going to try to make it through part 3, because what I need to do is either, like I was talking about at lunch, I will no doubt have to fight a Lionel in part 3 based on just the not concept art, but the promotional art for the DLC alone. You can say I'm going to have to fight one of those bastards again. I've only fought one.
So if there's 60 different levels, right, then there's 20. They're split in 20s, right?
I think the middle trials had 16, which I thought was weird. I'll have to go back and double check what the beginning trials have. They had over 10 the first time. I think maybe it was 12 or something, but middle trials had 16. So I think there's either 20 or more in part 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm no doubt gonna have to fight a Lionel, so I need to either watch a video or go fight a random one in a wild before I go in, so I don't make it all the way to that point and die. Because I remember fighting the first Lionel I ever killed, and once you learn its moveset and memorize all the times it does certain things, it's actually pretty easy. You just have to have good timing as far as dodging and stuff is concerned. But I can't remember the moves at all, so I'd hate to go into part 3 and make it all the way to what I presume to be, if not the final boss, one of the final bosses of the final trials, and then lose and have to start over would be a nightmare. So that's the only thing I'm afraid of, but hopefully I can get that out Tuesday of this week would be cool. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a ton of fun. I haven't dabbled in all the additional content like the costumes and the masks and stuff you can acquire, but Heroes Path mode is cool to see everywhere I've run throughout the world. That was pretty interesting. And I think it was totally, so far, worth the money. Just the trial of the sword alone has been a lot of fun, and I like the challenge it's posed, and it's cool to experience that aspect of the game, just constant combat like that, where in reality I feel like combat in the open world is, at least to the point I've gotten to, pretty few and far between. Because I've gotten to a point where I don't really need to attack every encampment. I'll just kind of pass by most of them because I'm just mostly shrine hunting right now. But it's cool to have just constant combat like that, back to back to back, and each room building off of the last has been a lot of fun. So I see it's totally worth the purchase if you guys were at all on edge about it or not. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think that's all I played this week. I played Titanfall, Zelda. We uploaded Volume 2 of Super 6 Sniper Skills, my goofy series where I wield a sniper rifle in a multitude of games, sniping people in the face. And I think the next one I'm going to do is going to be Halo 2. I'm going to eventually do all of the Halos, but Halo 2, I love that sniper rifle specifically. So I think I'll do that. And I think someone in the comments mentioned I should do Overwatch, and I don't play a whole lot of Widowmaker, and I thought that was an interesting choice.
It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I imagine so, because I've only tried Widowmaker a couple of times, and it does feel a little, I wouldn't describe it as stiff, it just doesn't feel as smooth as some snipers in games.
Overwatch, for whatever reason, doesn't feel like other shooters.
Now, I will say Hanzo feels really good to play, but Widowmaker's sniper kind of feels strange to me. I just got to get a feel for it. It's like Battlefield.
It's with Anna, too. Like, when you think you're shooting something, like, right on their head, and it doesn't even register sometimes. It's weird.
Right. So I just got
slightly off.
Yeah, I'll have to get a feel for it, but I thought that was an interesting idea, too, so I'll probably do that at some point. But that's just a fun little series we have as well, just purely sniper videos. But we uploaded that. I can't remember if I played that this week or not. I might have recorded it earlier. But other than games, I saw Baby Driver, Edgar Wright's new film. I think we talked about it last week a little bit.
And that movie, things about
yeah, it's very good. I can vouch for all the good things you probably heard about it. I highly suggest it to you guys, especially Preston, if you and Lizzie want to go to on a date to a movie before Spider-Man. I highly suggest Baby Driver. Even after Spider-Man, that movie's very good.
Okay. I actually went and saw a movie on Friday.
What'd you see?
I went and saw Despicable Me 3.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Did you see it with your family?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I forgot your family. You guys are pretty big fans of Despicable Me 3, or just Despicable Me, the series. How'd you guys feel about the third one?
Yeah, I enjoy Despicable Me. I think the second one is actually a great film. Tons of funny moments. And I like the Minions. I thought the Minions movie was okay, but I like them sprinkled in, just a little bit. Because they are funny, but sometimes they can be a little bit too much.
For sure.
I think Despicable Me 2 had a great sprinkle of the Minions in there. But so that's definitely my favorite. This one was the definition of an okay movie.
Okay.
Like, it was very, very okay. I had a few laughs here and there. I got bored a few times. There was a very cute CGI pigs that reminded me of my dog. So that made me laugh. But besides that, it was just okay. The Minions sucked in this movie. They were like, their scenes were just not funny, and they were just like kind of just, I don't know, off.
Phoning it in?
I guess they like go to jail and like break out and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, what's the point of this? Like, it was just kind of just odd. Definitely.
They're making a Minions too, right?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, Minions, Casey and I actually fell asleep watching Minions with Casey not too long ago. So
I don't get the whole Minions thing.
I thought it was okay. I think they're funny. Like, I think when they do like music renditions and stuff, it's pretty funny to me. But I mean, it's definitely geared towards kids, obviously.
I definitely have laughed at them multiple times, like you said, especially the first and second one, definitely.
Yeah, but this one is definitely I can't say it, weakest.
The weakest wink?
Yeah, the weakest link. The weakest of the Despicable Me franchise, easily, is definitely the worst movie. So
it seems they did not end on a high note then.
Yeah, with the exception of like Toy Story, it seems like every franchise just get worse as it continues.
Did you say Toy Story?
Yeah.
Dude, Toy Story was amazing all the way through.
I said the exception of Toy Story.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Toy Story.
Toy Story 3 was an one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah, good call. Now I'm worried about Toy Story 4, I got to be honest.
I feel like it's unnecessary.
I forgot.
Actually, Pixar, ever since Inside Out was great, but everything that's come after Inside Out is not blown me away.
Did you see Cars?
No, but I heard it was not very good.
I've heard it's average.
I saw the original Cars, when it first came out, and I remember liking it, and I think I saw it a few years ago, and I thought it was okay. I never saw the second one because just the premise
was not good.
Me neither. Second one looked terrible.
Isn't it like a spy movie or something?
Yeah.
Like, why? What's the point?
I don't know. That's what I was so confused. That's why I never wanted to see it.
Yeah. So I know it looked like the third one was going to bring it back, but I guess not.
Yeah, Good Dinosaur was just okay.
Oh, dude, that's my least favorite Pixar movie I've seen. That was such a bummer to me.
Yeah. That's the thing about Pixar. Like, I think we may have talked about this a while ago, but it makes sense as to why not every single movie hits it out of the park every time, because it's literally always a different team that works in different movies. That's why every time you see a Pixar trailer, it won't say from the creators of every single Pixar movie. It's just like these specific ones. So I can't remember who's doing Incredibles. I think
they better not mess up Incredibles.
I think it's a lot of the same team from the original one, and I think one of the original either directors or writers of the first Incredibles is involved with the sequel. But that's the thing about Incredibles, dude. I told you a couple years ago I watched that movie again, and I was astounded at how good that movie is.
So good.
I love. That's probably aside from Toy Story, that's probably my favorite Pixar movie. Yeah. So I have high hopes for the sequel. I think it'll have been 10 or 11 years since the first one when the sequel comes out. I think it comes out next summer, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's the year. I know Toy Story comes out next year. I don't know why they'd have Toy Story and Incredibles, but we'll see. I think they had Good Dinosaur and Inside Out in the same year. So we'll see. Those are two big ones. Hopefully Pixar bounces back with one of them. If not both, I'd love for them both to be great. Oh yeah, Coco's coming out later this year.
Oh yeah.
You have any interest in Coco?
Sure.
I kind of
wait for the reviews.
So I'm not totally
What's
it's
Coco?
Not grabbing me yet. It's Coco. It's the boy in Mexico who aspires to be a singer, like his role model who's dead, and he picks up his guitar in like the morgue or something, or a graveyard, and he gets transported into the land of the dead or whatever in Mexico, and all the people are skeletons, and he goes to the city of the dead or something. Yeah. It's very musical based too, if I'm not mistaken. So he has a zombie dog. It kind of looks like a cross between Paranorman and that other movie that was basically the same plot. That came out from another animation studio that people are always hounding on Coco in the comments because of that movie. Can't remember what it's called. So I don't even know how we got on that topic.
Yeah.
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me, that's right. Yep. Yeah. Well,
they need to stop with the franchise. I think it's over. They just need to stop.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were making a Minions 2, but that doesn't sound good to me.
Right. I think they're just gonna, like most franchises, if it's successful, they're gonna milk it until everyone stops coming.
Just like Shrek.
Exactly. I think they're making another Shrek too.
Oh my gosh!
Stop.
They're making another Shrek.
The Shrek memes have brought it back from the dead.
They have. And it's funny because I bet studio executives are just mistaken it. Like, wow, look at all the Shrek hype. When in reality, it's a big joke at this point. So, I don't know.
Man.
Well, was Shrek sneaking into the house?
I don't know how Despicable
so.
Me... I'll be interested to see how Despicable Me 3 does, because I haven't heard anybody talk about it. I've hardly seen any trailers for it.
Right.
So
yeah, I wonder, was this opening week for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how it's doing.
Based on just the reception critically and just nobody else talking about it, I don't know. The movie theater on opening night was pretty empty as well.
That's not a good sign.
Oh, dude, get this. Just as a quick little side story. So we go into the movie theater. We ask for a beverage. And, well, no, my father goes, I'd like an icy. And they go, oh, our icy machine's broken. And they have 3 of them. So all 3 of them are broken. And he's really bummed. He's like, what? Are you serious? All 3 are broken? Yeah. Okay, well, I'll just do a soda. And they're like, okay, well, All our soda machines are broken, so we just have a ton of bottles. We'll just have to like pour into our cups, just like from these 2 liters that we have. And they're like charging the same amount of money and everything for it. So we just declined.
Is this the fancy theater you guys usually go to, or a different one?
Yeah.
Wow.
They just had like a million 2-liter.
I think that theater is a theater that's masquerading as a fancy theater, when in reality it's just not.
I guess
that's what it seems like.
They had 6 of those freestyle Coke machines and 3 icy machines, and all of them were broken. On a Friday night.
Yeah, how does that happen? That's
I don't
bad.
know. Yeah, that's
exactly how you keep people from coming back to your theater after that. Because there's so many movie theaters, at least over where. Was I touching your feet, Jacob?
No.
So I don't want to scuff your new shoes. I really like them.
That's what I'm concerned about.
They're a great choice. You should tell us a little bit about your shopping spree you invited me to, but I was unable to go with you. How did that go?
Yeah, it was fine. I got this hat I'm wearing. It's a Falcons hat. Got some new shoes.
Go Falcons.
Yes. What shoes did you get?
They're some Nike. Yeah, I can throw my foot.
Yeah. Throw your foot up there on the table, Jacob. Here, let me turn the computer for you, Preston.
Oh, I was going to put it towards the camera. I don't know.
Yeah, I can turn them like this. What do you think, Preston?
Oh, those are pretty slick.
Yeah.
I like those.
That's totally going to be the picture that goes on Instagram.
I just wanted some black shoes. I don't have a lot of black shoes.
Yeah, I was kind of bummed because you invited me to your shopping spree, and I so desperately wanted to go, but I was editing a
I got
video.
some really nice button-up short sleeve shirts.
Nice.
I don't know. I just wanted to wear those.
See, you would look great in those. See, I have a few of those, but I look like such an idiot when I wear them.
Yeah.
I can't pull them off. I look really dumb, so I wish I could.
I got some new shorts. Bought a pair of jeans.
Did you go to which mall did you go to?
I went to North Point.
See, I would have had a blast with you. We could have got some Auntie cinnamon pretzels. You don't like cinnamon. You like salt, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I would have gotten cinnamon. We could have touched pretzels and talked
I don't want to get
life.
cinnamon on my pretzels. So
okay, we could have
done that.
We could have toasted with our pretzels to a shopping spree among 2 men.
Dude, I'm dying to get a new pair of sneakers. I have to.
Me too, man. You know how I know you're the same way as I am. Every now and then I crave a new pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't bought a new pair of shoes in probably a year. That's how long it's been for me.
Dude, Adidas, the new NMD XR ones, they're calling my name.
Are those the ones that look like the Kanye shoes?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Yeezys. They don't look like that.
Yeah, Adidas has a pair like that though, right?
Kanye's brand is the Yeezys.
Oh, is that Adidas?
Yeah, that's Adidas.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought he was his own thing.
Oh no, he's partnered with Adidas.
I wanted to get a pair of those, but they're
very expensive.
So I did not get one.
Speaking of expensive shoes, I know this isn't even expensive comparable to that, but remember my NMD R1, the Japanese versions?
Yes. Did you ever sell those? No,
and I'm not going to, because I've been looking online and the price is like between $500 and $600.
Wow.
So I'm like, I'm not wearing them anymore. I'm just going to hang on to them and see how expensive they get. So
nice. 10 grand later.
Yeah. I'm just going to sit on them. So, well, not literally, but you know.
Yeah. Preston, I thought about buying a pair of those shoes that you're talking about.
Which ones?
The ones you just said.
The Japanese ones?
Well, I guess the ones you wear all the time.
Yeah. I really want to get a new pair. My white ones are getting a little dirty, but those are my favorite shoes right now. Mm-hmm. I love them.
Have you guys seen those New Balance they just started advertising?
Yes, the Cruise.
Yeah, those look pretty cool.
Those look awesome. I
saw a pair of New Balances in there that were only like $50. Mm-hmm. I was going to get 2 pair of shoes, but they didn't have my size. I was really bummed about it.
I'm sorry.
They were like these navy blue New Balance shoes.
I'm convinced every time I go shopping that my evil twin has beaten me to the store because anything I want in my size, they have every size but my own. So I know he's been there slightly or shortly before I got there.
Speaking of that, I typically wear 11s.
I wear 11 and a half.
11s are always out, always. But I found out that a majority of the time, 10 and a halves fit me just as great, and everybody always has 10 and a halves. So I've been luckily been able to, every time I go for shoes, I always have my size now since I've been doing that.
Nice. Yeah, my size is typically always gone, unfortunately, so I rarely ever pick up shoes that I desire. But jeans, or just pants in general, I think my waist size is 30-32, like
mine's
30 waist and then length 32.
That's what I do.
Same size?
Yeah.
Okay, literally. I guess it's funny because I bet our legs are the same size. My torso is just longer than yours. I told you I'm a sloth man.
That's the thing. I feel like I have small legs.
I've also been told I have a giraffe neck. So one time, me and this kid in high school in gym class or team sports, he was like, dude, I think I'm taller than you. I didn't really care, but he's like, let's stand back to back and see, because he and I were the tallest kids in the class, and we stood back to back, and I had like an inch over him. And this girl was like, Garrett's taller, and he's like, that's just because he has a giraffe neck. And then I felt like I needed to scrunch the rest of high school as I was an insecure freshman at the time. So apparently I have a giraffe neck.
Dude, I haven't bought new jeans in like 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
I know. I've been rocking the bullheads from PacSun.
Bullhead is all I wear from PacSun.
They're great.
I don't know why they fit me perfect.
Yeah,
I love them. My button-up shirts.
Nice. I did love them. My size that I have right now is 32 30s. But I've lost, I lost like 20 pounds. So They are so big, and I have to wear a belt, and my the button like literally folds in over itself, so it looks like I have a boner all the time.
Yeah,
so
I know what you mean.
So I have to go buy a new pair eventually.
I'm at an awkward size too, to where even at 30-32, I have to tighten my belt very tightly. And the same thing happens. I have to do this weird thing where once my pants are scrunched up at the front, I have to like maneuver my waistband to move the scrunch to the back, to where the bunch hides behind my shirt. And it looks kind of like the nub, like a Rottweiler's tail. If it's a little nub, that's what it looks like behind me. You just can't
Sounds
tell.
like you need to wear like a 29 or 28.
Well, that's the problem. That one size too smaller is too tight, and one size bigger is too big.
Yeah,
so I'm stuck in between these worlds of too tight and too loose.
Yeah,
so
that sucks.
Dude, that's why I just wear
for me.
sweatpants all the time, because it's just so much easier.
Yeah, like our old friend Kevin from elementary school.
Exactly.
Rocks sweatpants every day of his life. He knew he had life figured out in elementary school.
Dude, I never have the occasion to like get dressed up and go places. I'm at work, and then I come home and I'm like lazy, and then I come see you guys on the weekends, and like I'll go to a movie or something, and those are like the only times I have to like put on clothes and like leave the house. So it's like, that's why I don't have an incentive to like go get like really nice jeans that fit me and stuff. Like for the wedding, I had to go out and buy brand new clothes. So I didn't look like some slob last night. So
I feel you. It's funny. I've been having to wear my monkey suit, dude, to the jazz club I work at now every week. Which speaking of, I'm actively trying to find another job because I cannot stand working at the jazz club. But it's funny, I told you I met Mark Ruffalo there, which I thought was so random, but not even a couple of weeks ago before I was employed there, one of the guys where I was running sound this morning at the church I ran sound at for years, which, speaking of, is so nostalgic in many ways, because not only was it awesome to be back there in the first time in forever, but we're doing the podcast on a Sunday just like we used to, where I'd run sound there and come home, and later that day we'd do the podcast. So it's very nostalgic of a day for me. But he mentioned that he was doing an open mic night there about a month ago, and one of the vocalists from Destiny's Child was in town shooting a movie just like Mark Ruffalo, and both of these people just Googled live music and food, and the place I work at always pops up. So one of the vocalists sang at an open mic night from Destiny's Child, which is funny, and the daughter of James Brown, like his firstborn daughter, attended the show of the band playing last night. So I don't know why on earth this place. It's literally located in between a Brazilian wax shop and a Jersey Mike's sub shop on this random strip in the middle of Alpharetta, and all these people keep coming to this place. I'm like, I don't understand the appeal. And I will say every band that plays there is insanely talented. That's probably why. But it just amazes me, just the location. You'd think it wouldn't be that popular, but it sells out every single night. So, I mean, good for them. I just hate working there. So, is there I think it's either a gnat or a mosquito just flew onto me. Speaking of bugs, we forgot to talk about what crawled on you at Taco Bell. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it was a little centipede.
It was not little. I wouldn't describe it as little.
It was pretty little.
It was about the length of my pinky finger, if you can see this.
That's not that big.
Jacob was like, what is that?
I felt something on my ankle. Like, what is that?
He looked down and brushed it off, and this, what I would describe as a big-ass centipede crawling on his leg, and it was under the table.
I thought it was like a spider or something. I was like, ugh.
Right. Would you have rather have been a spider over a centipede?
Probably not.
Okay. I don't know which I'd prefer.
Because spiders are a little more dangerous. A lot more.
I mean, centipedes, depending on which kind it is, could be deadly. Of course, those are usually...
Are centipedes deadly?
There are some deadly ones in like tropical regions.
Oh, we're not in a tropical.
No, we are not.
Dude, those big ass centipedes that are like, like 30 feet long. Those things are scary.
That's horrifying. I think one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen was a Discovery Channel documentary where a guy wore an armored suit and tried to force an anaconda to swallow him whole.
Yes.
And he got like halfway into it and he freaked out and had to back out. Even in the armored suit, he could barely breathe and stuff. That was just disturbing.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I watched that with you.
Yeah, well, maybe it was at the apartment or something. Mm-hmm. It was like a big Discovery Channel event. And I remember I was so pissed because they tease it for 2 hours and he gets halfway and he's like, I'm done. So I'm like, you got to commit, man.
In his defense, he was being eaten
by an anaconda. Yeah, that's very horrifying.
Yeah. It was like crushing him. So
I can't imagine what would be more disturbing: being eaten alive by one of three things. Pick your poison here, boys. Eaten alive by an anaconda, eaten alive by a great white shark, or a grizzly bear.
Probably the snake would be the least threatening.
You guys would go with the snake?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that'd be a more...
The other two will just rip you to shreds.
Just the bite alone from an anaconda just freaks me out, and then it crushing you to death and then swallowing you whole.
Hopefully I'll never be in any of these situations. So
I feel like I'd rather be squished and like suffocate. I feel like that sounds like a more peaceful death than being just ripped to shreds by a shark or bear.
Especially because it'd probably be all of those three could potentially be very slow deaths. But I feel like obviously it's much more violent to have a shark.
I don't want to relive The Revenant.
No, absolutely not. No, I actually watched a movie on Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember the name of it. It's an indie movie where this couple goes out in the woods. It's based on a true story, and her husband gets eaten alive by a bear. It's quite disturbing. I mean, because I've heard about bear attacks here in Georgia too, where literally like a man, I think it was a few years ago now, a man and his daughter were just hiking, where both of them were eaten alive by a bear in the woods. Jeez. That is effed up, man.
Yeah. Man, something you got to be careful about.
Yeah.
Garrett, you ready to get into this?
When you just run like hell?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel so bad if you guys are new to the podcast and you miraculously stuck through an hour in.
Longest in forever.
But we do have timestamps for all of our topics down below, so you could have potentially skipped over all of this had you checked the description. We apologize for not mentioning that at the beginning.
Absolutely.
I think we need to get better about that. We need to mention that earlier.
Yeah, we'll remember from now on. We'll try to at least that we have timestamps. But we just, we're just catching up, man. Just a couple of pals just talking. So, I mean, obviously this is like 2 podcasts in 1 at this point. So, Mike, it's almost been an hour and a half. By this point, people are wrapping up their episodes. We're like, all right, let's get started. I don't know why. We'll just call this a
I almost feel like we need
episode.
something else just to talk about stuff.
What do you mean?
Just like a video series where we just talk about what we do.
Yeah, we could just have a podcast.
I feel like
to Ask IOG
before the
where
podcast,
we just talk about things.
I feel like this isn't the best place for it. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But yeah, Preston, we're ready when you are.
Yeah. I don't know. But there's demand for just a regular podcast. I don't know. We have hardly enough time to do an Ask IOG episode. So, I don't know. Something to think about, though, especially if we grow. But this is the It's Obvious Gaming Podcast, the show where my 2 best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games, obviously. You can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you, or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find this podcast every week on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Audio Boom, and other podcasting services.
Am I distracting you? Why are you looking at me? I thought you blacked me out.
I couldn't do it. It felt too weird, so I had to look at you.
Okay, I have you blacked out. I don't want to see you.
Oh, are you... Okay, so you're just looking at a black screen?
I'm not looking. Oh, yeah, if I black it out, I'm not tempted to look at it. I wasn't even talking to my mic. I apologize. Yeah, if you're blacked out, I'm not tempted to look at it the whole time. Okay. So I just stare into Jacob's crystal blue eyes.
Check the description down below for links to our social media pages, our PlayStation community, and our Discord channel. Be sure to like and comment down below, and also subscribe to the channel to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out a ton. I was going to say so much.
So much.
Thank you.
So much.
But with all that out of the way, hey man, watch the news.
Guys, the SNES Classic exists. It's coming September 29th of this year for $80 US dollars. Obviously, pretty much everyone knows about this now, but we have the full list of games that are coming on this console. Which, that console hype, man, it's got me by the neck. I have to have one. I have the notification ready to notify me when the pre-orders go live.
With who?
I probably will not get one, but, a man can dream.
Who do you have it with?
Best Buy.
Okay.
And Amazon, both of them.
I need to do that.
Why can't we just have Virtual Console on the Switch?
Oh, see, I imagine...
Because of this.
Yeah, most of them.
This is such bullshit.
Yeah, hopefully most of these will eventually make it to Virtual Console. But just to have a Super Nintendo again with all these on them, holy crap, cool. Dude, I have to have it.
It sucks that some games are left off. Like, I know a big one is Chrono Trigger for people.
Right. I was wondering that because just recently I think we were talking about when this was a rumor, like, oh, what has to be on there? Chrono Trigger was one of them. But I got to admit, when I was reading this list last night, I got so excited that I was jittery. I was like, holy crap, I can't believe this is going to happen. Yeah. But and this is something I may never have, unfortunately. But let's talk about the games that are on the list and which ones stick out to us and which ones that we think are missing and need to be on there. I'll go through them real quick. Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Donkey Kong Country has me crapping my pants, of course. Earthbound. Final Fantasy 3, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox and Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, and Yoshi's Island. Boys, I'll name the ones I'm excited about. I'm sure you guys share a lot of the same ones I'm excited about. But Donkey Kong Country, of course, super nostalgic for me. That was one of 3 that I played mostly on Super Nintendo. Mega Man X, absolutely. I never got to play A Link to the Past, so I'm excited about that one. Super Mario Kart, of course, I played that game for hours and hours and hours on end as a kid. And the bulk of my memories is when I had strep throat one winter, and I had Super Nintendo, and I played Mario Kart most of the day, and I watched Batman Forever like 3 times in a row in one day. It was a great day. I'll never forget it. A lot of chicken noodle soup that day, too. Super Metroid and Yoshi's Island. And Super Mario World. I don't know if I mentioned that one, but all of those, dude, on one console together in the original controllers and everything has me so excited. I hope I can get one. What about you, Preston?
Definitely. I don't know. I'm very excited for this. So I guess the games are A Link to the Past, Final Fantasy 3, Super Metroid, Super Mario World's on there, right?
It is, yes.
Okay, that F-Zero probably. Yeah, those are all fun and dandy. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Garrett. If I hopefully get one, I'm not going to open it. So,
wow, that is just sad.
All right, guys, we'll catch you next week. Join us on YouTube. That's kind of depressing.
That's depressing.
I will have it as a collector's item.
For what?
To just
that's
look
okay.
At.
I mean, I have no right to judge you for that because
that's the thing,
just
though. Is like I
do.
have the opportunity to play any of these games this second, so it's not like
right. I don't have my Super Nintendo anymore. I have no idea.
Just even through emulators.
That's true too. Yeah, I know that's an option as well. But just to have the original, I mean, it's not the console, but a mini version with those classic controllers, man, it's just extra special.
The cords are longer this time.
Yeah, and the cords are longer. Yes, that's a plus for sure.
I mean, if I could somehow snag 2 and one to play and one to keep, then I might do that.
Okay. I mean, that's the thing. They're affordable. So, I mean,
yeah, they're not
2
bad.
of them is not asking a whole lot. Granted, you're going to break the heart of someone else that wanted one, potentially myself.
Hey, man, that's just how it works.
Yeah, that's life. That's okay.
If I had 2 and one of you guys wanted one, I would not keep it.
Okay. You'd sell it to us for triple the price.
Exactly.
Okay. I admire your style, Preston.
Is Final Fantasy 3 the one where you go to the moon? Do you guys know? There's one of them where you go to the moon.
I'm not sure. Game.
But I played a demo of a Final Fantasy. No, never mind. That was PS1.
It's like at the end of the game.
Not
so you wouldn't have seen it.
I know Final Fantasy was weird the way they were numbered before it got to 7. Like our version of 3 was a different version over there.
Mm-hmm.
Until it got to 7, which then they were all like the same. So I'm not really sure which. Like it's 3 to us, but I'm not sure like which version it was over in Japan. I think it was 6 over in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe. I could be wrong about that. I tried to Google it, but my internet's not working. So
it's okay. I think it'll be okay. Shout out to Yoshi's Island, by the way. Also enjoy that one.
I never played that
Yoshi's
on
Island
SNES.
unless it was a different Yoshi's Island on.
I played a Yoshi's Island on Nintendo 64. That's the only one I
never
remember.
played a Yoshi game. I'm excited for the new one coming to Switch though.
Absolutely. Is that the one where he's like Yarny Yoshi?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's regular Yoshi.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's like paper.
I
Yoshi
never played. I'm going to say something blasphemous. I never played SNES. Didn't have
Ever?
one. Never played a single game on it.
I can second that I never owned my own N64.
Yes.
Played plenty of it, but I never had my own.
Yeah, see, I had
correct.
the NES.
I am correct.
Well, I didn't
Eric.
have it. My mom and my grandparents had it.
Right.
So.
Final Fantasy III in America was actually Final Fantasy VI, which is regarded in some people's eyes as the best Final Fantasy game.
That's the one with Leon from Kingdom Hearts. He's named something. He's named Squall, I think.
No, that's Final Fantasy VIII.
Shit.
Yeah, dude.
Close. You're only 2 numbers off.
I just need to stop talking. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy.
This one stars,
Okay.
I believe, Terra and Locke.
Oh, yeah, Terra. Of course.
Those are the only 2 people I remember. I put in like 10 hours into it on the PS Vita, the PlayStation 1 classic version, and I liked it a lot. But I'll be honest with you, Garrett, there were no trophies, so the drive to continue on was lacking.
I get that. If I had that mindset, I would I'd feel you, but I don't pursue them as passionately as you do.
Yes, I know.
But yeah, this device is obviously quite exciting for many people, especially people around our age. So I imagine a lot of you out there as well, if you plan to pick one up or hope to pick one up, definitely let us know which games you're most excited about coming to the SNES Classic, because I am crapping my pants with hype. So hopefully we can get one. Great for Let's Plays too. I'd love to do some Let's Plays of Super Mario World and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Just reminiscing on the good old days.
Mm-hmm.
So boys, next we have the Xbox Games with Gold for July.
Oh boy.
Here we go. Grow Up. Is that the sequel or the first game in the Grow Home? Grow Home was the sequel, right?
I think Grow Home was the first one.
Yeah, it's either Grow Home or Grow Up is the first one. I can't remember.
Hmm.
But Grow Up is coming to Xbox One. It's available the entire month for $10. Runbow, not Rainbow, Runbow. July 16th through August 15th, available on Xbox One. Kane and Lynch 2. I never played it, but I heard it was pretty cool.
Very,
Did I hear
very,
that right?
very, very short.
It's very short.
Very short. It's like 3 or 4 hours long.
Did you play it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The ending is very stupid.
Does it have a good story?
No.
Okay, maybe I heard
It's
it.
a very
Maybe I'm thinking of a different
mediocre,
game then.
very mediocre game, in my
Okay,
opinion.
I must be thinking of something else then. But if you want to play a mediocre game that's very short with a stupid ending, according to Preston, Kane and Lynch 2
There is a
coming.
cool-
Is it even
it's-
worth the $3?
Yeah,
That's
for
coming
the
to 360 and Xbox One.
There is a cool aesthetic where it's like the game is being shot by a cameraman that's following you around, but it's like a third-person shooter. And like when you blow somebody's head off, it like censors it and stuff. So there is like a cool-looking style to it because of that. But underneath that, it's just like a whatever third-person shooter that's really short with just a story I didn't care about at all, and it just ends. It like literally just ends. You like run up to an airplane and you take off, and then it's just over. So,
By the way, all these games are free this month. I was accidentally reading the original retail prices or the current retail prices of these games. Yeah, all these are free. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean is also coming. I don't have interest in any of those.
Yeah, I don't want to play any more.
I do
Lego
want to
games.
say I'm sorry I just spoiled the ending of Kane and Lynch 3.
You know what's funny, Preston? I wasn't even paying attention.
Oh, it's okay.
So should I
I
ever
know.
play that game? I've not had the ending
Well,
spoiled
I didn't
for
really
me.
spoil it because I don't even. I just remember what happens, but I already spoiled Red Dead Redemption the other week, and I apologize.
Yeah, we apologize to the gentleman. If you're listening in this week, we promise we usually we're like spoiler alert to
Yeah.
everyone. We may that one just may have been off the cuff. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but,
I did assume that if anybody was going to play Red Dead, they probably would have played it already.
right.
It's a pretty old game.
Yeah, it's your own fault if you haven't played Red Dead by now.
That's
So-
a little disrespectful.
That
Jake.
is,
It's been a long
Jacobs.
time.
It has been a long time, yeah. But we do apologize for if we spoiled it for anyone else.
I'm not sorry.
It's okay. I feel bad even if they should have played it by now. I still feel bad. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. But we will be sure from here on out, like we normally are, to be sure you guys are aware of potential spoilers we have coming your way. PS Plus games for July. There's 1 or 2 of these I'm more excited for. Until Dawn on PS4.
That's super awesome.
Awesome game. If you haven't played it, we highly recommend it. We have a full walkthrough on our channel. I think we've mentioned a few times in the past. If you have any interest in watching us play through that game, is exciting with Miss Hayden Pantier herself.
It's good to play with a significant other.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a great date game too.
Yeah.
So it's fun to play with other people. Game of Thrones. I think that's Telltale's Game of Thrones.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll play that or not. Maybe.
So is that like just the first season, or is it the whole experience?
It's the whole first season.
Yeah, it's got to be, I think, the whole first season. Yeah.
Even
I
then, that's
played
cool.
the first episode, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's another easy platinum, I guess, if you play through it.
Yeah, that's true.
Something I'll download.
I was going to say Drungle. Tokyo Jungle on PS3.
Ooh.
Darkstalkers Resurrection. Don't know what that is. Elemental. Of course, that's with a 4 in there. It's kind of like Fant 4 Stick, the title from the most recent Fantastic Four. I think that's supposed to say Elemental, but it's the 4th Elemental game. But they replaced the A at the end with a 4.
Right.
I don't really like that. It looks very Mountain Dew, Doritos, Xbox, first-person shooter gamer tag to me.
Looks very tacky.
Yeah, I'm not really into that.
It's not.
Maybe it's a great game. That's
though.
coming to Vita. It could be awesome for all we know. Don't Die, Mr. Robot is also coming to Vita. It's cross-buy in PS4.
Cool.
So if any of those interest any of you, I can definitely suggest Until Dawn. I haven't played Game of Thrones, but I hear it's pretty cool. I might play it myself.
It's a solid month.
Yeah. What about you,
Past
Preston?
2 months
You
have
have any
been
interest?
solid. I guess Game of Thrones. I've already played Until Dawn. I own Until Dawn.
Right.
Actually bought it to play with my family, and we played for like 2 hours and never got back to it. But yeah, I'll probably get Game of Thrones. Maybe I still have to finish Life is Strange, so that's probably.
Were you playing Life is Strange with your now wife, or were you playing by yourself?
No, I was playing with her.
Okay.
We got like
I got to get back to that too.
not even an hour into it, but we liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely more priority than a Game of Thrones if I'm going to play something like that.
For sure. Well, dudes, I mentioned earlier that I may pick up Crash. For one, I think it looks pretty cool and the reviews have been pretty good. I myself, in addition to Preston, don't have much nostalgia for it. I played a demo of it on my PS1 demo disc back in the day. And I thought it was fine, but it didn't really grab me even as a kid. But I have interest in playing it. I think it looks pretty fun. But the main reason I want to pick it up is because I think it's obvious to most people that Spyro could be the next remaster on PlayStation. That's something I'm hoping for because I've said it 1,000 times now that I loved Spyro as a kid. Super nostalgic for me. Mm-hmm. And I would absolutely adore a remaster of that first game.
Spyro is fun.
It is. And apparently there is a Spyro Easter egg that was also in the original version of the game. But the original version, when you'd find this Easter egg, is some kind of code you put in and a series of buttons, and it unlocked the Spyro the Dragon demo inside of Crash. I think it was Crash 3 back in the day.
Gotcha.
So same thing now, but it isn't a demo for the new Spyro, obviously. It's just an homage to Spyro being in the original game.
Gotcha.
So people are saying either this is just to completely pay homage to the original game, just in the sake of Crash Bandicoot, or it could also be an Easter egg for Spyro to not only generate possible excitement, but I think based off the success of this remastered collection will determine whether or not they move forward with Spyro.
It's probably both.
So
maybe. I don't know.
I imagine, I don't know why they would hesitate anyway, but hopefully enough talk gets generated or enough discussion gets generated because of this collection and enough people pick it up to where it's financially viable and makes sense to them to remaster Spyro. And I would freak out if they announced that at an E3 at some point. Maybe even next year for all we know.
Maybe a PSX announcement.
Maybe. That'd be an awesome PSX announcement for sure. But we'll see. How about you, Preston? Do you have any interest in ever playing a Spyro remaster?
We'll see. I didn't have any interest in playing a Crash Bandicoot remaster, but seeing it kind of has made me want to really bad. So It kind of might be the same thing. I don't have any nostalgic connection towards Spyro. I rented the second or third one, when I had a PS1, and I don't really remember liking it or disliking it. So
nice. Well, I look forward to hearing your thoughts when you get around to playing it.
I look forward to hearing your thoughts.
Yeah, like I said, if I have I want to buy it, like I said, but that's if I have time to, over on top of everything else I have going on. But
I think I'm going to trade in something to get it. That's
a pretty good idea. It's not a bad idea.
Even though I don't like doing that, but
trade in Until Dawn.
Yeah, and get like $3.
Yeah.
I want to trade in my 2DS that's at your house because I never ever play it. And
yeah, that's been sitting in the same spot in my house for I think well over a year now.
Yeah, I can get like $50 for it at least. So
yeah,
I got pretty good.
How much did I get for my 3DS XL?
You said you got like 200, didn't you, or 100 at least?
I think it was 200.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, dang. I think it's 300 to buy. because they're in such high demand still.
Really? I don't think Jay just bought one, and I think it was $200.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly.
He loves it. Loves it.
It was okay.
Dude, he is playing the crap out of it. He's almost to the shadow. Ocarina of Time right now, but he has Mario Kart. He has Xenoblade. What else does he have?
So he's not playing Mario Kart on his Switch?
He is, but he doesn't like to take his Switch to work because he's scared. For some reason, it's going to get stolen. He works at a veterinarian clinic, so that doesn't seem like too dangerous to me. But he's just pretty iffy about bringing it, so he just brings his DS instead when he has some time to play.
That's cool.
So yeah, he's really into Breath of the Wild. Really got him into Zelda. So he's starting with Ocarina of Time again, and likes it a whole bunch.
Bug.
I mean, if you've never played Ocarina of Time, that's definitely something that I would recommend you playing.
I really want Virtual Console.
No, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, since you already sold your DS, that's definitely something that would be awesome to come to Virtual Console for you to enjoy.
Right.
My big hope is that we'll get some GameCube games, because having a Twilight Princess on the Switch would just make my life, probably. I love that game so much.
You know what I've always wanted to play on the 64? It is Luigi's Mansion.
That wasn't on the 64, you loser.
It was on the GameCube, you're right. But
it wasn't called Luigi's Mansion either. It was called Luigi's House. Just like Zelda's called a Legend of Zelda. It was called Luigi's House.
I've always wanted to play that game. Always fascinated me.
I think I played the opening portion of that game when you're in the grand foyer of the mansion.
Yeah.
And I just was instantly bored for some reason. I stopped playing it. Yeah, I'm sure it was pretty
I just thought it was cool that Luigi had a game about him.
Did you ever play all the way through that, Preston?
No, I never played it, period. I know it had a sequel on the 3DS, and Jay actually bought it. And I played a little bit of it, so it's pretty fun.
Nice. Yeah, I just recall vacuuming up ghosts.
Yeah.
And I was a kid too, so I didn't really understand the mechanics or anything.
I guess it was like a spin-off of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I was kind of just bored instantly as a kid, but I don't ever recall hearing bad things about it. I just heard it wasn't
I know a lot of people liked it.
Most Mario games. But
it's not like the best thing in the world, obviously, but it's a cool game.
Well, Garrett, Jay is actually stuck in Zelda right now.
Which Zelda?
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's trying to get into the Shadow Temple.
I'm trying to remember which. Is that the one where you acquire the mirror shield?
No, that's Spirit Temple.
Okay, I get them all mixed up.
This is where you had to go into the well and get the Lens of Truth.
I can't remember.
Did you even play that game?
You got to remember, I played this game over a period of 10 years, literally, on 3 different consoles. So, when I visualize it in 3 different ways, too. It's like not even, all of it doesn't even look the same when I think about it, so I can't recall all the details.
Yeah,
I remember vividly the water temple and spirit and forest and fire, but not shadow.
Yeah, it's a pretty obtuse part of the game. So at least that's what I remember it as being like as a kid.
Is that the well in the middle of that town in that little village? Yeah. Okay.
You have to go down there as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm loving talking to him about it. Just talking with somebody, playing a game that I know like the back of my hand that I've played, like 50 times at least. Just hearing their experience, going through it for the first time. It's just really interesting hearing his thoughts on everything. So pretty cool. I know he's. I'm gonna give him Majora's Mask once he's done with Ocarina. I'll be very interested to see what he thinks of that one.
Yeah, definitely. I played through the first few hours of that. I know you and I did that Let's Play where I played through like the first hour of the game back in the day on. I think we did it on N64, didn't we?
We did it on the GameCube.
Okay, that's what it was. But on 2DS, when you let me borrow it after I'd beaten Ocarina of Time, I was like, wow, not only has a weight been lifted off my shoulders, but I can officially jump into Majora's Mask. And I played about 3 hours of it. And again, something else came out. And that's why I put it down on that part of that trunk across the hall. And it is sat there untouched for almost a year. So
nice.
It is yours for the taking, my friend, once you return.
Excellent. If it ever comes to Virtual Console, hopefully, I still recommend you try it out.
I 100% will, dude. On Switch, I will play any Zelda title on that Switch when I can take it wherever I go. Absolutely. I mean, granted, you can do the same thing with the 2DS, but
I want Smash Bros.
I mean, you never
bad.
beat Twilight Princess, did you?
I did not know.
Okay. I think that's that game gets a lot of hate for some reason. I think because it's too similar to Ocarina of Time, but that's why I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the
only ones I've beaten is
too.
Ocarina and Wind Waker. So
yeah. I don't know, I would love to take those HD remasters that they put on the Wii U and port those to Switch. That'd be awesome.
Do you think that we'll ever see, I know people talk about this all the time, but do you think we'd ever see an N64 Classic Edition, or do you think they would just, for those titles, port everything to Virtual Console at some point? What do you think? I guess it depends on the success of SNES Classic. Granted, they've already said it's limited.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be
just
successful.
Limiting themselves.
I mean, when are they going to stop? Like, I feel like N64 would be a good stopping point. I think a Game Boy Classic would be freaking amazing.
That would, man.
Like a portable with all the classic Game Boy games, like Super Mario Land and Tetris and Link's Awakening and stuff. Like, that would be so
Tetris?
cool. Yeah, Tetris is like hand in hand with Game Boy.
Yeah, I know.
I think that'd be cool. I mean, you can't do a GameCube Virtual Console. So I think Nintendo 64 is definitely classic enough to have its own console, I think. I don't know, off the top of my head, I can't think of a ton of iconic games on Nintendo 64. I mean, there's, Smash Brothers and Mario Kart and Ocarina and Mario and
Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie. I mean, there are some. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of a lot of those games.
Pokemon
and GoldenEye.
Snap. Pokemon Stadium.
So, yeah, I guess. The more I think about it, I guess. I'm just not the biggest... I wasn't the biggest fan of the Nintendo 64. Obviously, I love Ocarina, and Mario, Smash Brothers, just the first-party Nintendo titles, but pretty much everything else. I wasn't a big fan of GoldenEye. That's in Perfect Dark or whatever. I didn't like Donkey Kong or Banjo-Kazooie either. So
I'll never forget all the nights playing with my friends, just local multiplayer on GoldenEye. That was so fun.
Yeah, I never did that. We played a lot of on GameCube. I think it was Nightfire.
Mm-hmm.
We would have sleepovers and play that a lot.
Yeah.
So
I remember one of those. I mean, I think it was GoldenEye, the original GoldenEye controls so strangely
because
shooters have come so far as controls.
That game did not age well.
It was like operating a tank.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
I remember going back one night we played. I think it was GoldenEye
at Evans.
Was it on the original Xbox?
Yeah, on Xbox.
Yeah, dude, it was hard.
Yeah, it was disastrous. It was just felt so terrible. But of course, the nostalgia.
Of course, it's inverted. I don't think you can change it.
Yeah. It's like operating a tank, literally. Yeah. Is what it felt like.
I think people that talk about GoldenEye still and I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's the best shooter of all time.
Yeah, okay. I appreciate GoldenEye in terms of what it did for console FPSs at the time and stuff. Like, yeah, that's all cool and dandy, but that game has not aged well in the slightest. It plays like garbage.
I'd have to go back and judge what the map design and stuff is like, because imagine if that game had modern controls, what it would be like. I wonder if there's more to it than just the nostalgia. If the
I don't
map
know. I mean, there was GoldenEye Remastered, and that had, fairly good controls.
Wasn't it on 360 and stuff?
Yeah.
Am I thinking correctly?
I mean, it was initially on the Wii, and I bought it. Granted, like I said, I don't really know the multiplayer maps from the original GoldenEye well at all, so I don't know if they were the same or completely different ones. But the story mode, for the most part, was, it had the same story beats and stuff, just with better controls, and it was just very meh. So it had the Daniel Craig Bond in it as well.
Nice.
Should we get back on topic?
Probably.
Yeah, sure. Guys, Visceral Star Wars game, Miss Amy Henning's project, has had some more details leak, which is pretty cool. Very brief, but it's an interesting insight into some of the characters we'll be playing with or alongside in the narrative portion of the game. I imagine it's probably just going to be single player. But it said, and this is coming from Reese Puggaschew of Nerd Much, by the way, quote, "According to a leak from Making Star Wars, Visceral Star Wars game will have another main character, a lady by the name of Robbie Maddox. She's in her early 30s and a gunslinger to boot. She has the attitude to match her lifestyle and the only one who the other main character, Dodger, can trust. Described as the, quote, other main hero, Maddox will likely be taking the wheel in a sequel to the game, quote, down the road. So it's kind of cool. What I thought was not only to get some names of the characters, but a little insight into what her personality is like, and to think that they're already looking ahead towards potential sequels. It sounds like they have a lot of confidence in this game already, which gets me excited. And just that tiny little sliver we got at E3 2015 has me so pumped to see more. Hopefully we see some soon. But I'm really hyped for that game. I hope it's awesome, because we're in I wouldn't say desperate need, because there are some really good Star Wars games in the past, but I don't think there's ever been a truly just through and through fantastic Star Wars game. So I'm waiting for that to happen. Kind of like Spider-Man. I mean, there's been some great Spider-Man games, but I think Insomniacs has potential to be the very best of all time. Like the one everyone's always been dreaming of. The treatment it deserves, I should say. So that and Respawn have a lot of hope for Star Wars titles.
Yeah.
Does that get you excited, Preston?
Yeah. I just want to see it. Super bummed we didn't see it this past E3.
As am I. I was convinced we were going to see it at either PlayStation or EA, but I was sadly mistaken. But we did get that guy saying that what does he say? He just jumped off of a horse and killed a grenade, or killed a tank with a grenade. Incredible.
Incredible.
That is the quote of the entire show of E3 2017.
Incredible.
For me. It's great. But lastly, before we jump into the main topic of the show, Preston, I was going to ask you, obviously, Mr. Yves Guillemot, I don't know if it's plural Eve or Eves, Mr. Guillemot, of Ubisoft, has said, this is a quote from him, and this is kind of old news now, but we haven't really talked about it. He says he's been receiving lots of sketches and proposals from around the brand, and they're definitely going to pick one up at some point. So Splinter Cell will no doubt have its reemergence. But I was going to ask you, Preston, coming off of Blacklist, what are things you want to have in the next Splinter Cell? Which direction do you think you'd like them to go in? And anything that can be improved, what do you think? Because you and I had a blast with Blacklist. So, they can only go up from here, I imagine.
Yeah, you would imagine. I definitely think they took a step in a right direction from Conviction to Blacklist. It was more stealthy. For the most part, it didn't throw you into these situations where you had to gun your way out. They still are in the game. And that was one of my main complaints with Blacklist, primarily in the co-op missions. There were a few missions out of like the 4 or 5 there were where you'd get to like the end and it's like, oh, you have to fight off waves of dudes. And I'm just like, no, this is a stealth game. I don't want to fight off waves of guys. Because,
what's the whole point of sneaking through this whole mission undetected if I have to fight off a wave of guys at the end?
Yeah, I mean, and you technically could stealthily take them out and stuff, but I just really enjoy just infiltrating a place, completing an objective, and getting out of there without anybody knowing you were there. That's what Splinter Cell is to me. So I would definitely like for them to take some of the more hardcore elements that were in like Chaos Theory, in the previous ones before that, and kind of implement them. I don't know if they're definitely trying to cater more towards everybody with giving the options to go loud and stuff. And I think that is, that's fine to have a choice like that in the game, but I still want more options for stealth gameplay. Like I essentially want all the stealth and sneaking mechanics from Metal Gear Solid 5 in this game. Like I want to be able to go prone, and I want it to feel as smooth and amazing. I want it to feel like Metal Gear Solid 5. In terms of control and just making you feel like you are in complete control in terms of sneaking, I think MGS5 does that better than any Splinter Cell, and probably any other third-person stealth game I've played. So I would like for them to kind of look at that game and see what they can do in terms of like their control scheme and how it feels. What I don't want them to take from Metal Gear Solid 5, and I don't even know how they would do this with Splinter Cell, is I don't want to take the path that, for instance, Ghost Recon took, giving you this open world to explore and stuff. I know that doesn't seem like Splinter Cell, but it seems like they're trying to do that with more franchises. Looking at Metal Gear Solid 5, showing that you can do an open world stealth game, that it is possible and you can do it great. No doubt they probably have had that thought cross their mind. I mean, wouldn't you say? But
that's definitely been in at least one or two of the proposals they've received, I imagine. Like, we got to go open world. It's what everyone's doing now.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, dude. I would not be in the least bit surprised if they went that route. But something I'm not opposed to at all is them to take a more Dishonored approach, which kind of similar to Thief as well, the greatest stealth game ever made. To where the hub worlds are just slightly bigger than they are in Blacklist. Because I thought the Blacklist maps were actually pretty decent size. Like, they weren't massive by any means, but they're just big enough to have multiple routes to to accomplish each objective you're proposed with. So, almost made it, Jacob. That'd been sweet.
Garrett, imagine every level being kind of the same size or maybe a little bit smaller than like the mission of Ground Zeroes, just like that compound.
I was thinking that exact size for each mission would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you enough to have the choice of where to infiltrate and stuff, but it's not full on open world where you're like driving to each location and stuff. I don't know. That doesn't feel like Splinter Cell. I want these very detailed levels with like tons of infiltration points.
Absolutely. No,
wow.
Another aspect.
That was a very long pause.
It's okay. Another aspect I loved about Blacklist, which similar to Metal Gear, you can outfit Sam Fisher with specific gear and weapons and such. And I loved when we got to the point where we can unlock the best stealth suit in the game. You could essentially sprint through sections. Mm-hmm. And I like being able to customize my stealthy character and play my own way, which is always cool. But what was I going to say? Just bigger hub worlds would be cool. Keep the gear system, co-op feature, of course, because I know you and I love playing through co-op, especially in Splinter Cell.
I want them to retain just the separate co-op stuff. I love the missions being made specifically for co-op.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like that suits it better. I mean, you know how I feel about just taking a single player game and like, throwing in another character. I'm not a big fan of that. I love levels that are made with two players in mind, giving those cool opportunities to either throw each other across a ridge or something to where we have to make our ways back to each other, giving both of us different essentially like little paths that we both have to take, and helping each other out and stuff. Like I love those levels with two people built in mind. So I would love for them. I just want Blacklist and Chaos Theory to kind of have a baby with some bigger areas to explore.
Totally. So. And now that we're on next gen, you got to hope also that the AI is very smart. That's what I love about a good stealth games, when the AI will spot me if I screw up, because I don't like to like screw up and get away with it. If I mess up, I want there to be consequences, because it just ups the ante every time I'm sneaking around. So I like there to be major consequences when I'm sneaking about some compounds of enemies. So.
I mean, that might be a little bit further down the road, but I am kind of noticing more and more as technology is developing. Even just, pretty much every stealth game is guilty of this. They will clearly see something has gone wrong, but they'll continue on with their path, and, everything's fine. Like, there's a dead body here. The alarm goes off. Okay, the alarm goes down. We've left this dead body here, and we're just going to continue on our path. Right. Like, it just makes no sense. Metal Gear Solid 5 is pretty good about that, though. Like, they go on alert. They stay on alert. Their paths change and stuff. So they have solved that. So, I'm not saying don't look to MGS5, but I don't want them to take that open world aspect. In the sense of the AI and the way it's played and stuff, by all means, I would love for that to influence the next Splinter Cell.
For sure.
So, yeah, that's pretty much all I can really say. I'm excited for there to be one, but I'm going to try my best to not get too hyped at the announcement of it, because a bad Splinter Cell game, which God forbid that won't happen, would just be soul crushing to me. So.
I know, yeah, you and me both, because it'd probably officially be dead for good after that. If they rebooted, not necessarily rebooted it, but came out with a sequel after all this time, and it just totally tanks. But
I mean, I was able to enjoy Conviction for what it was, so it's got to really suck for me to not like it. So, not that Conviction sucked, it just was not really Splinter Cell.
Yeah, I feel you. I was going to say that two things that I think would be awesome is now that it has been such a long time and this is new hardware we're dealing with, I think it'd be cool if they just called it Splinter Cell. Like just reboot the name entirely. I think it'd be cool. Just not call it like...
say for every franchise.
I know. I just love that. Especially after an extended period of time. If you have an opportunity to really bring a new identity to it. Not necessarily in a sense where it's completely different, but just kind of like a new awakening for the franchise. Just call it Splinter Cell, and it'd be awesome if they announced it, let's say at E3, and Mr. Michael Ironside himself made an appearance and said he was coming back as Sam Fisher. I don't need that. He'll always be the voice of Sam Fisher.
I need it here.
So that's the thing. I thought the guy in Blacklist did a fine job. It just wasn't the voice of Sam Fisher. To me, he was just another agent.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like Sam Fisher to me.
Right. So it'd be awesome if Michael Ironside's taken enough time off and they see like, oh, look how far the motion capture's come. Now I realize Michael Ironside looks nothing like Sam Fisher, but maybe they could entice him like, hey, we're actually going to be capturing your real facial animations and stuff. If you wore like the face with the dots on his face and the whatever that headgear they wear, maybe they can convince him like, hey, you'll actually be acting out the part now.
How old is he?
Come back. He's pretty old. He's pretty old for sure. But I think obviously the motion tracking, they can lay over anything. They just capture the movements of your face and stuff.
Sam Fisher's going to be like hunched over, like grabbing his back and stuff, talking.
Yeah. I know they can also do vocal booths where you're just in a booth, but all you're wearing is the headpiece. So they just capture your face and they animate the rest. Or they'll get like a body double to do all the body movements. So I don't know. But I will say, speaking of motion capture, Neil Druckmann's been releasing a couple random pictures from The Last of Us 2 production and the motion capture. Nothing significant, just two random pictures of one woman flying through the air and then some guy in a blanket reading off a script. He said he obviously didn't want to give anything away, and they're very minuscule. It's just exciting to know they're actively working on it. So,
did you see the pig?
Pumped. The pig.
Yeah, they're motion capture.
Oh, yes, I did. One of the writers, correct?
The pig's one of the writers?
Yeah, I think it was a joke. He said, like, I love seeing our writers hard at work or something.
Well, I mean, no, they were using the pig for mocap.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
That's funny. I didn't know, because I skimmed that because I was at work when I was looking at it, but I did see the pig, and I saw something about writing. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
But
it's probably Ellie has like some
actual pig.
Pigs are nice animals.
Pet pig companion that'll follow you around.
Exactly.
Like D-Dog, but a pig.
Yeah, precisely. You can also mount the pig and ride it through the wilderness.
Yes.
But boys, that brings us to our main topic of the show. And that's actually brought to us through a community member, Mr. Kyle himself, an OG. Excuse me, he calling you guys the community. If you guys are cool with us calling you the OGs, I think it sounds way cooler.
Kyle, we go way back with Kyle.
We do. Kyle's been around for a while. I mean, many of you have been around for a while. Yeah. So we thank all of you for being here.
And he also has his own podcast.
He does, yeah. A few of you guys have podcasts, and those of you that have reached out and shared it with us, I have listened to your podcasts, and I will say that they make for great episodes when I'm commuting to and from school during the week. So I appreciate you guys doing that.
I may give his podcast a listen this week.
That's cool, yeah.
I do a lot of driving, as you know. So
yeah, it's a great podcast.
I need lots of good stuff to listen to.
Yeah, all of you guys that have shared your podcast, I've let you know and I've listened to it, I believe. And I really appreciate you guys doing that because it's cool to hear friends from the community sharing their content. So please keep doing that in our community content section of our Discord channel. Anything that you have created, whether it be a podcast or your own YouTube channel or a work of art like a painting or music you've written, anything like that at all that you've created, please share it there. We'd love to see it.
Kyle he better watch his mouth. He keeps talking crap about Attack on Titan. You're going to get banned from our Discord channel.
He said there's some pacing issues.
I know. That's talking. Those are fighting words.
I mean, I get that. I mean, I haven't been disconnected. I've been watching it very off and on, so I haven't felt the pacing only because I've been watching the episodes so spread apart. But I can imagine if you watch them back to back to back, it could potentially feel that way.
Yeah,
especially with all the flashbacks.
Totally just kidding. I do agree with him.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the second season though. It was really cool.
You said it wraps up in a pretty crazy way, right?
Yeah, the ending is pretty freaking cool. So
okay, I have an episode and a half left. I think I'm on episode 10. Okay. Or halfway through episode 10 right now.
Gotcha.
So I'm excited. But finally, Kyle says, okay, guys, we are halfway through the year. So what do you think about Game of the Year 2017? Oh, sorry. I read that wrong. Forgive me, Kyle. Says, what do you guys think about Game of the Year? 2017 has been excellent for games, and I was wondering what you guys think could win some of the categories, like music, shooter, action, adventure, RPG, etc. All right, boys, let's dive in.
This is going to be one of the hardest discussions I've ever had in terms of just picking my own personal game of the year.
Right.
I mean, the first two that pop out to me are Persona 5 and Breath of the Wild. and I love those games so much. And I think Breath of the Wild kind of comes out ahead, and that's probably due to just how much I love the Zelda franchise. But then Horizon Zero Dawn, I remember that came out, and I loved that game. But I don't know if that is as good as I enjoyed Persona and, Zelda. Then I know that Wolfenstein's coming out this year, and I'm going to be all over that game, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. There's just so many good games came out this year. I haven't even played Nier Automata yet, so who knows? That could just surprise me out of nowhere and just be incredible to me. So, but as of now, in terms of just in general game of the year, I would say that Breath of the Wild is probably on top, slightly over Persona 5 at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, there's been a lot of I wouldn't say smaller, I wouldn't describe them that way, but titles that have been have possessed cult followings. For example, like For Honor hasn't been massive, but it's been a pretty big success, and it still seems to have an active player base because I see a lot of clips from it weekly, actually, mainly through Kotaku. A lot of people still play that game, but I haven't played it myself, aside from I think it was the beta we played, you and I, Preston.
Yeah.
I had fun with that. I'm not saying that's in my Game of the Year talk, but just even titles like that have been awesome for a lot of people, which is cool, whether they be smaller titles like that or massive open worlds like Legend of Zelda and Horizon. Right now, I think my Game of the Year is going to be Horizon, purely because I have not finished Persona 5. I imagine that would probably be way up there for me had I had the time to continue playing it. And I hope to get back to it at some point. Like I said, I don't know when that will be, but I'm well aware of how fantastic Persona is. I just don't feel like I have the right to be able to say, "Oh yeah, Persona for me too." And I haven't even played through half the game, but everything I have played has been incredible. So as of right now, it's Horizon. And the reason why I say that over Zelda is because although I adore Zelda, I adore the world, I adore the fun characters, I even love the gameplay, as simple as it can be at times, but even the shrine hunting, all the different shrines obviously my favorite shrines are the ones where you have to actually figure out what to do versus the ones where you're just awarded through going like, oh, a mountain full of guardians was shooting at you, so we're just going to give you a award at the end. Sometimes I wish I could go through a challenge to get to a shrine and then have a shrine within itself that's actually challenging. I think it'd be cool. But just exploring Hyrule has been awesome, and just there's so many things you could say about Zelda. We've talked about it a ton, but I think the reason why I say Horizon is because the gameplay, for me personally, was just a lot more. There's just a lot more to do in Horizon versus. It's hard to. I shouldn't say more to do because there's so much to do in Zelda as well, but just the gameplay in Horizon of fighting all the different machines, the tactics you have to take for each one.
It's dynamic. I think that's a good word for it.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, and all the different weapons you can acquire.
There's many ways to tackle things. Not that there isn't in Zelda too.
Exactly, and just upgrading Aloy over time was a lot of fun. The RPG elements in it were great. The world itself was not only fascinating and beautiful, but the narrative itself really surprised me at how good it was, especially the way it wraps up. It was both very sad and beautiful at the same time. I loved it, and I'm very excited for the DLC and the sequel down the road. But just overall, just from characters and story and gameplay, the whole complete package of Horizon, especially since I didn't blow through it as quickly. It took me, I think, a few months to beat that game, or to platinum it, I should say. So every minute I spent with that game, I've absolutely adored. Same with Zelda too, but I think the gameplay in Horizon is a step over Zelda for me. So as of right now, my Game of the Year is probably Horizon.
Definitely in terms of combat, for sure.
Yeah.
I just think Zelda makes the world feel just alive. And I feel like that's why I have such a connection to Zelda, is just exploring Zelda was just exhilarating to me. I was so excited to see what was over the corner, whereas Horizon,
you kind of, and that's another thing I left out.
Yeah, it didn't have that at all. Like, you couldn't just run up the sides of mountains. You couldn't, if you could only go where they wanted you to go.
Right. Yeah, that is one thing about Zelda that I forgot to mention, is that you do have absolute freedom in the sense that not only can you go wherever you want when you want to, but you can literally scale anything, which is awesome. And like we've said, around every corner, there's something to discover, literally. So that's another amazing thing about Zelda that I forgot to leave in.
But I do feel like I did myself a disservice with Horizon Zero Dawn. That
still fascinates me. You platinumed that in a week. That's amazing.
Oh, less. It was like 3 or 4 days.
A couple days.
That's incredible. Holy crap, that's incredible. I don't even know how you can remember anything you did in it.
It came out on a Tuesday, and he platinumed it before Zelda came out.
That's
right?
unreal.
Yeah, and I knew I wanted to play Zelda, and I knew that if I hadn't beat Horizon, then that would be bugging me in the back of my head. That's the thing, though, is I didn't purposely run through Horizon as fast as possible. I played it at a leisurely pace. I did all the side quests. I took my time. I took in the sights and everything. So I didn't like per se push through it, but I had a week off work, and I didn't see Lizzie really that entire week. So I just played. I woke up and played and ate and played. So. But I do hear some people saying it took them like close to 100 hours to get the platinum, and I don't know what you were doing for 100 hours. Yeah, it's like, are y'all just running in circles or something?
It might have taken me maybe 50 to 60, I think.
I think I did it in like 45 or so.
Yeah, it took me like 40 something. So, but no, the combat in that game and the story is super, super good. And like you said, I am super excited for the DLC. I don't know, maybe if I had played it over a longer stretch of time and it's more like in my head, I would consider that higher, because I do look back on Horizon fondly. Like, that's an amazing game, but it's such a like flash to me. It's just like those 3 days, that's all I played it.
Yeah.
So, and Zelda is like, holy crap, I played Zelda for like a month or two, just drawn out, like meticulously going through every shrine, going around every corner. Like, I have 160 or no, I don't think that much, like 120 or 30 hours in Zelda, and I didn't even try and find all the Korok seeds or whatever. So I guess that game just sticks with me more. And same thing with Persona. That took me a really, really long time to platinum as well. So I don't know. I just think those two games are just like fresh in my mind.
I feel you. Yeah, it's kind of a difficult conversation for us. I wish I'd thought about this before we started talking, but there's multiple games that I deem awesome just based on people that I trust that I've yet to play, like Nier and Neo, and even For Honor I want to play. But as you said, we have multiple games coming later this year. I even think Shadow of Mordor will be in the talks of Game of the Year by the end of the year. I think that will be one of them.
I think it will.
I think it will, because I think even
it's going to do enough different.
Even the original, there's a ton different. I actually did a video for that company I'm working for.
Right.
I didn't write the video, but just based on what you read that he wrote, that I had to do this thing for, I realized how much bigger it is than the first one.
I don't think it'll be up for Game of the Year.
I don't think it will be.
Some
I'm just saying it will be in the talks. Like even the original was in the talks for the Nemesis system alone. But this one I think is cool because it expands upon it in the sense that you can build your own army and you can assign your different generals and stuff for the castles you take over, the strongholds you take over, and they can all each die and be overtaken by other ones. And I love how you can think you've killed one guy and he's not actually dead and stuff. There's just a lot more. It's a much deeper Nemesis system over the first one. I think that's always been the most impressive aspect of the game. So we'll see, but I think that will be in the talks at least. But at least it'll be an honorable mention among a lot of people.
The only other thing coming out this year that I can think of that will probably for sure be in the talks is Mario Odyssey. Duh.
Yeah, for sure.
Wolfenstein.
You got Call of Duty World War II.
That's not going to be in the talks.
Excited.
It's not going to be in the talks of Game of the Year.
No.
I mean, I would love for it to
personally
be.
For me.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's
like,
yeah.
Personally, for me, there's 4 great shooters coming out this year that I want to play. All of them,
definitely.
And then you got Super Mario Odyssey, obviously, and I'm still working through Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of great stuff.
I think in terms of the mainstream game media, like the IGNs and stuff, it's probably going to come down to like Zelda and Mario. I would say, and I'm sure at least 1 or 2 will probably give it to Persona.
Definitely.
And I can see like Push Square giving it to Horizon just because it's a PlayStation exclusive.
That's going to be a tough discussion even for us because there have been so many amazing games this year. So
yeah, I mean, this is probably an excellent year for gaming.
It is. It's probably one of the best we've had in a long time. I mean, the year that sticks out to me is 2007. But even beyond 2007, this year has had far more titles that are awesome than in comparison to 2007.
Oh, Garrett, let me ask you this. Do you think that Lost Legacy could potentially be in the talks? Because, it's kind of like its own game.
Right. Maybe. I don't think so. Maybe. I think it could be.
Not for Game of the Year.
I mean, I don't know, dude. It's a new Uncharted game. When have they never not been in the talks for Game of the Year?
Right.
I just don't see it.
I think that's definitely a possibility It's definitely not out of the question. We'll see, obviously, very
I think
soon.
the unfortunate thing about that is that people do think of that as a DLC, not a standalone.
Yeah, but the game media, like IGN, knows it's not. So it's not like they're not going to, know that.
Mm-hmm.
So
We'll
it's
see.
not like
I don't know.
just random people are. I mean, when I'm talking about the game of the year, I'm kind of talking in general what I think like the overall consensus is gonna. Gosh, I can't say that freaking word every podcast. I try and say it. Consensus is gonna be. It is gonna be with like all the GameSpots and stuff. But personally, I have a feeling it's probably gonna still be Zelda. Especially with the new story DLC coming out towards the end of the year, it's going to be even fresh in our minds, even with like Wolfenstein and stuff coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So that might push it over the edge right there as the final piece of the expansion pass.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me in the least if like the mainstream media people voted Zelda. Me personally, like I said, right now, it's probably Horizon, but that could change based on the multitude of games we have coming the second half of this year, which we talked about last week.
Yeah, I didn't really talk about like mine personally, but mine would be Horizon as well. I actually did finish Persona 5. It was fantastic. Incredible narrative, incredibly long journey, which kind of turns me off to some games when they're so long because I kind of get tired of it a little bit. Not to say it's not a good game, but the thing that stood out to me about Horizon was not only the action of actually playing the game and taking down all the machines and stuff, but the ending narrative and like learning what happened.
Yeah, all the reveals.
Yeah, it's incredible. Like, it's one of the best stories I've ever experienced. I think it's so fascinating.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it, is that not only was it very interesting, but it was just so sad, too.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the DLC. It's going to be awesome.
It'll be interesting if there's any story involved, or if it's just purely like random, like, oh, there's this area where these crazy new robots are here, these crazy new, what do they call them in the game again?
Corrupted?
Well, corrupted, but they had a name for them. I think they just called them the machines, if I'm not mistaken.
I forgot.
I can't remember. Yeah, I don't know how story heavy it'll be, if it have anything to do with the main narrative of the game, or if it'll just be like a fun side story.
They would not. I don't think they would say anything about.
No, because it would, especially because it would kind of give away what they've set up for the sequel.
Yeah.
So
I know it has to do with that one tribe that was like leaving those like figures around.
Yeah, the Banuk figures.
Yeah,
whatever.
the Banuk. Yeah. So
I'm
sure.
That. Just to play that game again, I know I'm gonna have a good time because I love the gameplay.
Yeah, I really do want to go back and play it some more.
Dude, just thinking about how beautiful that game is, I almost want to boot it up and play it for like an hour.
I remember
later.
watching it on your PS4 Pro. I was like, holy crap.
Astounding at how pretty it is, yeah.
And it's just fun.
It is.
Like
that's another thing that sticks out to me. I was never bored while playing it, no matter what I was doing.
Yeah.
It feels amazing too. Definitely the best bow and arrow I've ever wielded in any game is in Horizon.
I can't remember another game I've played where like for the most part, I mean, yeah, you can like shoot tons of arrows at like the little watcher guys and stuff, but the bigger enemies like what were they called? Reapers, or am I saying that right?
I think Corruptors?
It was like the panther looking ones with the machine guns.
Ravagers.
Yeah, Ravagers. I don't say Reapers. Ravagers and the stealth dudes and the Thunderjaw.
Those are my favorite ones to fight, were the Ravagers. I love
stealth
fighting
ones
those.
were frustrating. And so was the big Stormhawk or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I got used to the stealth ones. You use those. I think there was electric arrows, if I'm not mistaken. You could take them out real quickly.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is just like you fight these things several times, and then you're just like, oh, when I fight these guys, I need to blow this piece off so they can't turn invisible. It's like every fight is like a little mini boss fight. It has mechanics to it.
Right.
And that game did that so well.
Yeah, I loved fighting Thunderjaws and Stormbirds especially.
Thunderjaws were awesome.
Yeah, Jacob and I have two really, what I consider to be epic battles in Horizon on our YouTube channel, Let's Plays of us. One videos of a Stormbird and the others of a Thunderjaw. But my Stormbird video, dude, I swear, I cut out the video so it wouldn't take so long, but I fought him for like half an hour.
Yeah. I remember fighting that specific Stormbird.
Right.
Fought.
And it was funny because that battle, unintentionally, I fell off the mountain, but fell onto a side of it to where I was fighting him on this steep hill at the end. It was so epic, dude. I got so many awesome screenshots from it too. And just the screenshot feature alone, I loved. You could just capture these beautiful vignette moments of your journey through Horizon. Just something looks amazing. You're like, I have to capture this moment. I just have cycled through all my screenshots from the game.
Yeah, it'd be fun to talk about like in the future when we're anticipating the next one, like what could they do better? Because there are a couple of things that are like, I don't know, frustrating, but that they could change to make it better,
What
or
do you
just
think?
add things to it. I don't know. I think there's more RPG elements that they could enhance.
I think
to make the game even
obviously
better.
its strength was fighting the machines.
Oh, yeah.
But I think fighting humans could maybe do something a little more with that. I mean, I don't know. One could argue you did all you could with fighting humans, but I don't know. But overall,
I feel like the
love
whole
that
like
game.
maybe the loot system and like the whole, I don't know, all the parts and everything that you had in your inventory. I feel like that could have been done better. I don't know. I just feel like I didn't have anything to do with all
A
my
lot of them.
stuff.
I guess after you upgrade most of your things, not all of it, but there are things that kind of become. If I remember correctly, there's some things you just don't need anymore.
Right.
I would have
But-
loved a better gear system in terms of like customizing gear, like so it's not just like full on outfits and stuff. And there weren't even too many of those. So if there were like actual pieces of gear you had to craft and like find blueprints or go and like find in caves and stuff, like like different pieces like headgear and chest piece and stuff, just kind of
Kind of like Witcher style.
yeah, exactly.
That would be cool.
That would have been cool. And I know this is really nitpicky, but and I got over it within the first hour, but I didn't like how your staff just disappeared.
Oh, that drove me insane too, man.
Yeah.
Now, I got over it very quickly because the gameplay's so hectic that I kind of just ignore it.
Yeah.
But I love seeing her bow on her back, but I wish you could see the spear. It kind of like Zelda. Whenever you carry something on your back, you see it on you. I love that. So
Yeah.
I love to be able to see the spear
Yeah.
on her back.
It's like
as
they
well. That's
paid
such a
so
nitpicky
much
thing.
attention to detail, and that
Right.
just kind of like surprised me that she didn't put the spear on her back or something. Just disappears. So I know that is like ridiculously nitpicky.
Yeah,
but
it by no means took away from the experience.
that's what I'm
but is
saying. That just
something I'm
shows
like,
how
leave
good
spear
the
on her
game
back.
is that when I'm trying to come up with a complaint, that's it.
Right. I
So-
got to wonder in the sequel if we'll see a very tropical section with like really big waterfalls and stuff. I think that'd be kind of cool.
That would
Maybe
be
like a
cool.
beachy area or something. I don't think we got really a tropical area. We got like a rainforest-esque or ish area at one point, if I'm not mistaken. But I think it'd be cool to see like a beachy tropical section of the world.
I mean,
in
we for the
sequel.
most part saw a little bit of everything, like rainforest, just regular plains, desert, snow, like
forest.
even
yeah.
like city
Yeah.
environment. So we pretty much got everything you can possibly do.
It was
Mhm.
cool realizing where the game took place, and it makes sense that you see all those different kind of
Mhm.
areas,
Yeah.
different kinds of
It's funny,
Whatever.
after platinuming the game, I still had no idea where it took place. Preston had to tell me. Somehow it went through one ear and right out the other at some point.
Yeah, I remember finding like some piece of something and it
Yeah.
described.
I think
it.
I remember, I read pretty much everything. I think I remember reading where it took place, but I didn't realize that's where I actually was. I thought they were talking about a facility in this one place. And I was like, oh, there's a facility there. I didn't realize I was standing in the one they were talking about at one point. So
Mhm.
I guess that's what happened. Yeah, Horizon was awesome. But there's still many games coming this year. As we mentioned, there's still many games that have already come out that I want to play. But life is very, very busy right now. So I know we're all busy. Everyone in life is busy doing something. But on top of everything I have going on, I'm limited with my gaming time, unfortunately. But we'll see. Of course, I'm going to get to the big ones this year that I'm dying to play, like Wolfenstein, Mario, Call of Duty, Destiny. What else are we talking about?
Battlefront.
Yeah, Battlefront, and Mordor especially. So
I know there's
What about
one that
Ass
I'm
Creed.
extremely
yeah,
excited
I'm not
about.
going to play
that I keep
Assassin's Creed. I
forgetting.
don't think this year.
Yeah, I'm not.
So
Too many, especially just on that day alone. Just Odyssey and Wolfenstein just look so much better.
yeah,
I know
I'll no
there's-
doubt play it, but just not right when it comes out.
There's something coming out. I think it's Hellblade. That I think that's it. I'm definitely interested in that, but I keep forgetting that it's coming out. Which I don't even know
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
Hellblade
about
looks
that
cool.
game.
I totally forgot
It just
about
looks
that.
kind of cool.
I'm playing Syndicate before I play Origins.
I kind of want to play
I need
Syndicate
to find
too.
time to play that.
I watched a random gameplay clip from Syndicate a few days ago. I'm like, that setting to me is just really cool.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to play it. Preston, you said Syndicate was half decent after you played all the way through it, right?
Yeah, Syndicate wasn't too bad.
So I kind of want to play that too. I just love the setting. So maybe I'll do that at some point.
Yeah.
I've been saying maybe I'll do this at some point for
I
1,000 games.
got a big
I
backlog.
cannot see you
Too.
playing that game.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, just based on my schedule alone, but I do have genuine
So
interest in
old.
it. I mean, I can play old games without any issue, but just fitting it in with everything I have going on will be near impossible.
I think I may jump to that or Kingdom Hearts 2 next after I finish Zelda.
Okay.
So
I feel like the biggest jump in experience would be from Zelda to Syndicate and then back to Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Because Kingdom Hearts has that magical vibe as well.
Mm-hmm.
You should jump into like a real world type situation.
Before we
Or more
continue
a grittier
on,
situation.
let me just ask you a really quick random question. Did you ever beat Farpoint?
No, we still have one or two more videos to crank out for Farpoint.
Okay.
It's taken us forever. We haven't been able to get together in a while.
Yeah, I have not either.
You have not beaten it either?
I have not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm
want to.
interested in
I
it. I
will.
think it's a pretty cool game. I just haven't
I think
had
it's great.
time.
yeah, the narrative's finally picking up.
Yeah.
There was some cool DLC for it that just came out for free.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, what is it again? Remind me.
It's like 2 or 3 new co-op missions, and it's like in the snow. It's called like the Cryo
Okay.
Pack.
Yeah, that's what I saw, and it looked cool.
So, yeah.
So. Nice, dude. You know what I just randomly thought of?
What?
Lost Planet. I remember that was one of the first demos I played on 360. I thought it was so cool. I thought it was the most gorgeous game I'd ever seen when I first played 360. I'm sure it looks...
There were 3 of those games.
Yeah, I never played either of the sequels. I only played the first one. I didn't even finish the first one.
I don't know. I wonder... I mean, it must have sold some copies for them to make 3 of them.
Yeah. Well,
that was good talk.
That was random. But game of the year so far, I'm just going to go ahead and say for me, Horizon Zero Dawn. What about you, Jacob?
Same.
Okay. And Preston, you're going with Zelda?
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I get that completely. I mean, that's what's so fun about this year's Game of the Year discussion, especially at the end of the year. It's going to be a heated discussion. There's so many good games.
This is pretty funny, though, because our E3 before Zelda and Horizon came out, you gave your award to Zelda for most impressive, and I think Jacob
over
did
Horizon,
too.
Yeah.
And I gave it to Horizon. So
that is
like
funny.
We've switched once it's come out.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Again, I mean, maybe it's because you blew through it so quick. I mean, then again, you have much more of a history with Zelda than Jacob and I do.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny I have a little bit of bias towards Zelda.
So I get that.
I still think, regardless of that, it is a fantastic game just due to, for instance, my uncle is his first Zelda game, and he became absolutely just infatuated by it, which is made him go back and play the older one. So, I mean, I think that kind of just proves, and just based on the critical reception, that regardless of it being a Zelda game, it's a fantastic game.
Totally. Now, to mix this up a little bit before we move on, he also mentioned what we think the best music and certain categories like shooter, music, action, adventure, RPG, etc. If we want to break it up a little bit. I mean, RPG, overall, I would say Horizon for me, but RPG, I'd probably say Horizon again. I mean, a lot of people might say Persona. And even Zelda.
I would not classify
elements.
Horizon as an RPG.
Yeah, it's more of an action RPG and leaning heavily on action. It just has RPG elements. So probably if I had to pick between Zelda and Persona, I kind of have to go with Zelda because I've played 95% of Zelda and not Persona. I want to say Persona, but I can't because I haven't played it.
I wouldn't even call Zelda really an RPG either.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the closest you can get, I feel like, to comparing it to other RPGs as Zelda is close.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I watched this.
Zelda's more of an adventure game, I guess.
Yeah. I watched this one video game There's this one video discussing RPG and how that word is used way too loosely now.
It is, yeah. It is.
I mean, it means role-playing game. Like you're role-playing. Like he just like goes into it talking about how just like we use it as just like an add-on to like Horizon, for instance.
Yeah, if games have RPG elements, people just kind of throw it in that category.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think best RPG this year has to be Persona. Like it has to be.
Like I have to agree, obviously, but I haven't even finished it. But I guess I've played a chunk of it enough. I think I've played close to 20-ish hours of it. So I played enough to realize how good it is. I just haven't finished it. So I feel like if I played through that much, I have an idea of what all the gameplay is. Obviously the story goes into all sorts of places.
It gets crazy.
Exactly. So
I think music has to go to Persona too. That game's soundtrack is just incredible.
Yeah, but Zelda's music is so good too.
It is, but Persona's music gets stuck in your head like none other this year. Especially, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's hard to get like a score stuck in your head, but I mean, Zelda's music is very beautiful and it definitely suits the game. But Persona's, man, just what's that one song we all love when you send the calling card out again? What's it called?
I don't remember. It's the best song ever, though.
It's called Life something.
This Life Won't Change, I think.
Yeah, that song's incredible. I mean,
dude, Jacob, what do you think of the final boss fight? The song that plays during that? It's awesome.
I don't remember.
It's called A River in a Dry Land. I think that's what it's called. It's really good.
It's unfortunate. I don't remember it at all.
Oh, it's great. But
I'm trying to remember the last boss fight.
Oh, dang. I wish I remembered more of the points from that thing I saw about the RPG. I don't know. It kind of went into the, like, if you see numbers that pop up when you shoot things or there's gear at all, it's just like, oh, it's an RPG.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I've heard the music in Nier Automata is really good as well.
Yeah.
I can't vouch for that because I haven't heard it.
Mm-hmm.
That's another game we all need to get back to that game.
Yeah,
I will. I swear I'm going to play that game.
Mm-hmm. You and me both. I mean, there's countless I want to play.
It's like I'm bummed that there's not a lot of games coming out right now, but at the same time, I've missed so many that I need to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of glad too.
So RPG, we'll say Persona, I guess. Action adventure could go to like Nier. I guess Nier Automata is an action adventure game, hack and slash ish. Zelda's an action adventure game for the most part. So is Horizon mostly. What would you say for action adventure, Preston? Would you say Zelda again?
I don't know. I might give that to Horizon.
Okay.
Maybe. I think overall, I don't know. I'd give overall to Zelda, but just in the action adventure, I kind of think more of just the crazy set piece moments in Horizon. That just seems more suitable if I were going to give an award to. I don't know. I feel it feels better in my soul to give that one to Horizon.
I don't know, man. Have you ridden a sand seal in Breath of the Wild?
That's pretty exhilarating.
It is. What about, have we got any shooters so far this year that I'm forgetting? I can't think of any.
Wildlands. Or not Wild.
Prey? Isn't Prey a shooter, kind of?
Yeah, Prey's pretty much a shooter.
I mean, Ghost Recon Wildlands?
Prey's very much an action RPG for sure, though.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the closest thing we've gotten to a shooter for sure. So I guess you'd have to say Prey. I can't think of anything else.
What about Ghost
When I think of shooter, I think of like first person shooter.
Okay.
But I guess you could throw Ghost Recon in there.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Well, there'll be plenty of shooters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the big ones are coming out later this year. So.
I have a feeling Wolfenstein is going to take it.
Probably.
That game looks too good.
I think that's most of the categories. If I'm covering all of our bases here.
What's the worst game of the year?
I know there's been one. I don't know if there's been one I've played just based on reviews I've heard. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Let's move on.
Andromeda. Can you think of it, Preston?
Worst game
Andromeda?
of the year. Yeah.
That's saying a lot too, because Andromeda
I'm just kidding.
Really, it really isn't that bad. But I would say out of all the ones I played, that's the worst game I've played this year. But that's not to knock it too hard, because I realize it's a pretty good game. It just needed to be cleaned up a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's been one that just like totally tanked. I can't remember what it was though. Maybe I'm thinking of IGN's Prey review and then they reverted it because they gave it like a 4 originally. Yeah. So
1-2 switch.
Yeah, 1-2 switch is probably the worst game of the year.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Which at the same time, it does what it's meant to do, which is just very stupid, very brief.
They just charged way too much money. Having bought it, like, I thought I would at least get some enjoyment of it after an hour, but it really was just really boring after an hour.
Yeah, I feel you.
Even like getting my family involved, they were just like, oh, well, that was cool. Like after like 20 minutes.
That's great, man. Video games have come such a long way since you were a kid.
Yeah. I mean, I had to like beat them with a stick to get off my Wii from playing Wii Sports.
Right.
And they just were like way over the 1-2 switch 20 minutes. So,
yeah. I feel like with the Joy-Cons, you could do a lot of Wii Sports type stuff with the Joy-Cons. If I'm thinking about them correctly. They can be used basically like Wiimotes, can't they?
Probably.
With the motion controls close to it. I don't know. Not that it's necessary. But we've been going for close to 2.5 hours now. We may or may not beat our record, which I think is like 2:50, 2 hours and 50 minutes. I don't think we've ever hit exactly 3 hours. So we may or may not hit that this week. But that brings us to community questions. A huge shout out to all of you that have been sending us questions for either this show or our additional show, Ask IOG. We greatly appreciate it. If you guys want your questions read on the show, whether they be video game related or just random questions about life itself, you're more than welcome to send us questions in one of three places. Sorry, I'm really, my brain's melting over time. We've been doing this so long and I'm very tired, but our email address at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com, on Twitter at @obvious_gaming, or on our Discord channel in the Ask IOG section. You can submit your questions and always include the hashtag AskIOG if you want your questions read on the show. Or if you just want to chat with us, by all means, send us messages, leave comments anywhere you'd like. We're always happy to hear from you guys regardless. But that being said, again, I just want to shout out everyone who sent us questions, and all of you guys have been sending us, especially recently, just some really awesome questions. We're excited to get to them. And never fear, like I said about Ask IOG, we will get back to doing that weekly as soon as possible. As soon as Preston's current job wraps up, his hours won't be quite as brutal, so he'll be able to stay up a bit longer in the evenings, and we'll have time to knock out those episodes. But we are going to get to all your questions you've submitted, and we're very excited about it, so thank you so much for doing so. But the first one comes from D. Smitty. He says, "Hey, fellas. So I've been playing through the Witcher DLC, and it's incredible. I would honestly pay another $30 to $40 more, or $30 for more Witcher content. Also, with Breath of the Wild DLC releasing, I was wondering, what was your favorite DLC experience? Are you guys in on DLC in general?"
That probably Blood and Wine is one of my favorite DLCs ever.
It's one of my favorites as well.
And I'm not against DLC as long as it's done well.
I also love a lot of Skyrim and Fallout DLC, specifically Fallout 3, even though I couldn't even remember half the DLC I played it. I just remember loving it at the time.
Skyrim DLC is all right.
Fallout 3, forgot what it's called. Where you go to Louisiana?
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Point Lookout.
Yeah, that one I remember distinctly.
It's great DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Jacob said, Blood and Wine is freaking... I mean, Hearts of Stone is great, but Blood and Wine is incredible. It's like a brand new Witcher game.
It is.
Destiny Taken King DLC was incredible. It was like a whole new game as well. World of Warcraft expansions have been incredible. Those are more than DLCs, though. What are you doing?
Look, I made that paper stand up. It's awesome.
That's what you do in paper terms.
I'm really impressed that I did that. Whatever. I'm trying to think of any other DLC that I've loved. I know I've loved a multitude of DLC.
Are we going to count like the Old Blood? Is that DLC even though it's standalone?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's great DLC. The Old Blood's fantastic.
Yeah. I'll say Last of Us Left Behind. That was really good.
Yeah, I never actually played that. I watched an entire walkthrough series of it, though. But yeah, that was really good.
Little short, but it was good.
There's been a handful of multiplayer shooters that have had DLC with a ton of maps that I've really loved in the past. I think Halo 3 might have been one of them. Maybe it didn't have DLC maps. I can't remember. I keep calling myself such a big Halo 3 fan, but there's certain things I just can't remember about it.
The first DLC I ever bought was in Modern Warfare, the first variety map pack.
Mm-hmm.
I'll always remember that one because I was just the premise of downloading an extension to a game was just so foreign to me that it was just crazy. So that one was cool though. A lot of cool maps: Broadcast, Chinatown, Creek, Kill House. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think I have anything any more DLC, but yeah, Witcher especially most recently was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm even loving Zelda's DLC right now, so I can't wait for the story DLC to come out later.
It's not a great DLC though.
Zelda?
Yeah, the first part DLC, that's not that impressive.
I think it's awesome.
It's cool.
It's just adding a hard mode and some DLC items and then a trial.
That's like doing it a disservice though, just saying that it's a hard mode. Like there's
it's a whole new experience. But I mean, you have to approach it differently, I guess. But I just like the trials because not only is it a difficult challenge, but you get a really cool reward at the end. So
just saying, people are really excited for the next part that's coming out this holiday.
I know I am. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Nintendo took this DLC from just like when they first announced it, like, oh, there's going to be trial mode and stuff. Like, we're so used to the just boring horde modes and stuff where I envisioned it was like the previous Zeldas where you just go into a room, kill all these guys and go down. But in this one, it's like, oh, we're stripping you of all your stuff. We're putting you in these different environments with different setups of different guys and stuff. Like they did not take the easy way out. And
right. I mean, 60 different rooms entirely different from each other.
Yeah.
So.
When they very well could have just taken the easy way out and been like, okay, you're just going in these rooms, killing these guys, go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the gear's pretty cool. And then the hero mode's a cool addition. Then there's a traveler's medallion that allows you to teleport, set up like a waypoint anywhere you want to on the map to travel to teleport back to. And then the hard mode, which has like flying enemies, the enemy's health regenerates. I'm sure there's like one or two more things that I'm not remembering offhand, but in a seemingly bad DLC, just reading the details is actually like pretty in depth. So
for sure. Yeah, I agree. I'm having a ton of fun with it. But D. Smitty, thank you so much for your question, my friend. The next one comes from Raymond Landry. He says, hey guys, quick question. With games like Black Desert Online, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Crackdown 3 coming to Xbox this year, what are the chances of you dusting off your old Netflix, sorry, it's two words combined, Netflix boxes for a couple months to enjoy the company of your community Xbox fans?
Zero chance.
Zero chance for you?
Yes.
100% chance for me.
Yeah, for Black Desert, right?
I just play
playing
Black Desert on the computer.
Are you picking up a PC soon?
Yeah.
Nice. I am not. I wish I could. I'd like to acquire one by the end of the year.
Jacob, you don't want to play Black Desert with me?
I mean, I'd love to play with you, but I'd rather just play on a PC.
I wonder if it's cross.
I get that. Preston, I'll more than likely be joining you on Xbox for Black Desert because I probably can't afford a gaming PC this year.
Then Jacob has to join us.
Yeah, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Fine.
Fine, we don't want to play with you, Jacob. Go have fun with your PC
our
friends.
Xbox community that I feel like we've neglected for too long. I'm so sorry.
I actually got on the Xbox community thing.
The club?
Yeah, there's several people on there.
Yeah, guys, I want to...
There's like been a couple people that have been talking and no one ever says anything.
I know we make so many jokes about Xbox, but I will say I'm going to be playing a lot of Halo over the coming weeks because I have to review a pair of headphones coming up, and they're designed for Xbox, so I'm going to be playing a ton of Halo if you guys want to play Master Chief Collection or Halo 5. That would be awesome. So I'm going to be doing that for the sniper video and the headphones, so if you guys are out there, I'd love to play with you.
I wouldn't mind playing Halo 5 again.
Preston, you should join us in some Halo 5, man. You and I had some good times.
Yeah, sure, dude.
We really did. I'll admit, dude, that I think we played for like 2 weeks. You and I just played a lot of Halo
5. I
thought it was a lot of fun. So,
Jacob, you're not allowed to play Black Desert with us, period. If you change your mind, we're not going to let you in the clan. So, Sorry.
I don't mind that at all.
But yeah, Raymond, you can definitely count on that. I also want to play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I mean, there's been rumors it'll eventually make its way to PS4, and obviously it's on PC as well. But I have a lot of interest in that game. I think it looks like a ton of fun, especially if we can team up with some Xbox OGs. It'd be awesome. So by all means, anyone out there who's exclusively on Xbox, you predominantly play on Xbox, I will be there very soon, either this week or the following week. And yeah, especially for those games coming out. So absolutely. Next one comes from Level 3 Jamie. Jamie, I gotta be honest, I don't know if you're a he or a she. I haven't clarified. But
is that important?
Yeah, because I want to address this person properly. But Jamie says,
just use their name.
I think Jamie's a guy. I think Jamie's
could be
a guy.
either word.
Yeah, but Jamie says, hey guys, my question is if you think games like Dark Souls, like the Dark Souls series and other extensions of it, are more difficult than randomly generated games such as Rogue Legacy, Enter the Gungeon, Nuclear Throne, Spelunky, etc. My reasoning for this is that with the Dark Souls game, it comes down to a factor of memorizing all the patterns and enemy placements along with skill, whereas in the random generated games, you can't rely on memory since it's new every time. It has a lot to do with luck. What do you guys think is more difficult? I'm going to say that it really depends on the player, at least for me in my experience. Now, I have not played many rogue-like games or procedurally generated games in my day, but I've played enough to know that whether it be a structured, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a handcrafted game per se, like Dark Souls versus a randomly generated game, I really think it comes down to the player. Because, for example, if you master the mechanics of a game, I feel like even with a random scenario, you can always hold your own. Now, granted, there are some games designed to specifically mess with you, to always kind of screw up what you're doing. But I feel like if you can really master the way a game plays and feels, even if it's totally random, I feel like, at least in my experience, I can handle it. So it's kind of hard for me to determine which one's more difficult. It really depends on the player. But in my experience, whether I be playing a game like Rogue Legacy, not that I've played a whole lot of Rogue Legacy, but a game like that versus Dark Souls, for example, If I played enough of it, I can almost always get through it at the same level of difficulty, in my opinion. What do you guys think?
I can't really say a lot. I don't play roguelike games. I'm not a big fan of that randomly generated thing. I like just more of a, like you said, handcrafted. Like if in Dark Souls I'm like fighting a boss, I like doing it over and over again and overcoming him and being able to repeat. If I'm like playing the game again, I just like playing what I've already played. I know just like roguelike seems cool to me because it's just like a brand new game every single time. But I've in my experiences, and I might just not be playing a lot of good roguelike games, it's like I can tell that it's randomly generated because sometimes it just doesn't seem like it's supposed to go together. Does that make sense?
I know what you mean.
Like I just appreciate like if this level is specifically made this particular way to be the best that it can be. I just like that more than just like randomly generated stuff.
Yeah, he nailed it. This isn't really like a roguelike game, but Diablo is pretty much the only thing I've played with like randomly generated stuff. Like it's just not been something that I've played a lot. So I don't know.
I feel you. Yeah, like I said, I haven't played many randomly generated games, but I'm the same way. I prefer handcrafted stuff that's designed in a very specific way.
Like for instance, dude, I don't know. Perfect example right here. Persona 5. Mementos randomly generated. Compare that to the actual palaces.
Right.
That's how I view. I know that's a big exaggeration because the mementos are just hallways, and I'm sure other games have, more intricate things, but that's just kind of like how my brain processes roguelike versus not, just the palaces that are, created this way with puzzles and stuff, as opposed to just like, oh, well, this is just, a pathway that's slightly different, or there's a platform here that wasn't in the other one,
Right. Well, the question is not which one do we like more, it's which one's harder. Which can be harder.
Yeah, I mean, I think he made valid points, what he was talking about in terms of since you're not playing the same thing over and over again, that might throw you off. But like, I also agree with Garrett that if you know those the gameplay mechanics well enough, then it's going to be easier for some people. I can't really speak to which is easier or harder for me because, like I said, I don't really play roguelike games. So
that's up for you to determine, Jamie, I believe. If you're tuning in, what do you think? You've heard our take. That goes for everyone. Any question we ever read and any topic, we want to hear from all you guys regarding any or all of it. Absolutely. But Jamie, thank you so much for your question. The next one comes from Kyle, Mr. Bojangles himself, the man who supplied our main topic this week. He says, "Hello, boys. How's the week been?" Boys, how has the week been?
Good week.
Yeah, I think we talked for about an hour and a half before starting.
Last night was disappointing. There's no way that Pacquiao should have lost that fight.
I didn't even watch it.
It was in Australia. It was against Jeff Horn.
Okay.
Pacquiao clearly won, but they gave the decision to Jeff Horn.
Interesting.
It was ridiculous.
Everyone
on the internet
was totally unaware that this was happening.
Yeah. It was a big fight.
Interesting.
It wasn't like a huge fight.
I saw the name Pacquiao on Twitter, but I didn't see any news regarding that name. I just saw it. And now I know who that is, but I just saw his name.
Yeah.
So I was under the impression that he did something.
Yeah.
But I guess
he should have won. I just feel like it was on an agenda that the other guy won. It's just frustrating because that's only his second loss. Pacquiao's first one being to Floyd Mayweather. So
right.
It just sucks that his career, because that's a big stain on his career now. It's another loss.
Right.
That's big in boxing.
Well, to quote you, Jacob, from the past, maybe he should just get good.
There you go. You need to start paying off all the judges more.
Right. And Kyle also says, I was wondering something. What makes or breaks a game for you guys? For example, would an oversaturation of DLC or content designed for purchase turn you guys off to playing? I.e. a loot box system. Does an open world get brownie points from you guys? I know that Preston is opposed to multiplayer only experiences and prefers single player, but that's all I can remember you guys talking about. Keep up the excellent work. Oh, thank you, Kyle.
What's the question?
Basically, what makes or breaks a game for you? He gave an example of an oversaturation of DLC or a loot box system, for example.
That's what kind of game we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's a big question.
It's hard because sometimes I feel like we're just so optimistic. I mean, I'm very optimistic in all fashions of life. So it takes a lot for me to be turned off to a game.
I feel like my answer would be super vague, but just a game not good. breaks the game for me.
I will say a game that runs poorly, definitely. I mean, that goes for everyone. If a game runs poorly and you can't play it, then of course you're going to be turned off to it. That's a very obvious answer, but when a game just lags constantly, or Mass Effect, for example, had a lot of issues at launch. Not the facial animations alone. That didn't turn me away from it. I could have dealt with that through my entire experience. Just the game alone was very janky when it launched. Mm-hmm. So things like that have turned me away, and that's initially why I did not stick with it. And that's probably why I will more than likely not go back to it. So first impressions are important too. I mean, that's important for a lot of things in life, like a job interview or a first date or something. But even in video games, first impressions, especially when you get older and you have less and less time for certain things, like you have to be drawn in. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll turn you away. But
one aspect of a game that's always made it for me is loot. Loot in games my favorite games are loot-based games.
Okay.
So,
which I find interesting because you didn't love Fallout 4.
Right.
But it has a ton of loot in that game.
I honestly just think it's because of the first person.
You could have played in third person if you wanted to.
It's not good third person.
I think it was pretty good. I mean,
they don't have the best animations.
It's not the best as first, obviously, but not better, or it's not as good as first. But.
And the narrative obviously wasn't fantastic in 4.
I get that. How'd you feel about Skyrim? You said you loved it. That was your favorite fine. Bethesda game, right?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Okay.
But still, it just has that stigma of like, it's not like Witcher or something that I really love.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, in its defense, it was out before Witcher. So.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I like loot. I mean, I like to give all genres a chance. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of turn-based JRPGs, but Persona was so good that I loved it. So, that kind of answers the question, right?
Yeah.
Like, nothing really a genre. What am I trying to say? Nothing really breaks. No, like, set things break the game for me if it's done well. Because even when he's talking about, like, the loot boxes and stuff, it doesn't necessarily break the game for me if it plays well.
Yeah, I will say that although a lot of people, and I'm not saying anyone specifically from our community, but just people in general online, I see complain a lot about the loot boxes that have been added to Call of Duty specifically, and most shooters these days. And Overwatch is always out of the discussion because Overwatch is purely cosmetic. But games where they award you with new weapons and attachments and blah, 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 that arguably can enhance your experience online and stuff. I haven't actually ever been wronged myself in a situation like that. So I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm all in for it, but I'm definitely not opposed to it either because I've yet to have an experience where I'm like, this guy clearly had an advantage over me because of something he has. I feel like if you're good enough at a game, it doesn't really matter what. For example, I use shooters as an example because I play so many shooters. I feel like it doesn't always matter on the gun. If you're good at a game, you're probably going to always be good despite what the other person has. Unless they have a rocket launcher and they're like 2 feet away from you and kill you. That's understandable. But I feel like if you're good enough at a game, regardless of weapons people may or may not be getting in this loot box system, I feel like you can still beat them. But I will say another turn on or off for me is if I'm good or not at a game. Always multiplayer. Like I've said, I adore single player experiences, but whenever I play a shooter specifically, I'm all in on the multiplayer. I love a good narrative as well, but I just love the unexpected moments you get out of multiplayer. And it's always competitive for me because I know I'm playing real human beings versus AI in a game where you can almost, not all the time, but almost always predict what they're going to do, where they're going to go. And that's why multiplayer's always drawn me in more because you never really know what you're going to get. But if I flat out suck at a shooter, I won't play it. I mean, I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. But one shooter, which makes no sense to me because I've never really had this struggle, but with this one Call of Duty, Black Ops 1, my favorite Call of Duty campaign, aside from Infinite Warfare, is Black Ops 1. And that multiplayer, dude, was my worst Call of Duty performance. I'm not even talking like, oh, you were just fine. I mean, I don't think I went positive in a single match I played in Black Ops 1. I was terrible at that game. And I have no idea why, but every other Call of Duty, I've been able to hold my own for the most part. But Black Ops 1, man, I didn't play it for very long because I was so bad at it. And I recall Preston being so good. I remember long before we started a YouTube channel, you made like a little mini sniper montage, didn't you, Preston?
Yeah.
In Black Ops 1?
Yep.
I think that made me even more mad because you were having a grand time slaughtering people and I was just getting massacred. And it turned me off so quickly from Black Ops 1. Phenomenal campaign, though.
I guess he already mentioned it in the the question, but I guess a turn off, not like a full on turn off, but it kind of is like, is multiplayer only game of a game that looks interesting to me. Because I do enjoy single player experiences much more. Like Lawbreakers, for instance. I think the characters and the world looks really cool. And I knew from the beginning that was multiplayer only. But when I see a game like that with all those characters, I do, I kind of like hope and do want, like, I'd love a single player campaign with these characters and this gameplay. But it's not like a full-on turn-off, because I'm sure it'll still be fun. But I do long for single-player campaigns in these multiplayer-only games, especially like Overwatch or something. I'd love for there to be a single-player campaign in that.
And again, I just want to throw that out there. Speaking of Lawbreakers, as I mentioned last week, I'm super hyped for that. I'm hoping to get into the closed beta. I know a few of you out there have also applied for the closed beta. I think a couple of you said you might have even gotten your email confirmations, but if I get in, I will no doubt be playing that as often as possible before it ends. I think it's a very short window of time, but should I get in, I'd love to play with you guys out there, especially when the game launches. Lord willing, I'll be good at it, because as I mentioned, if I suck at a shooter, I don't play very long, but hopefully I'm good. I'd love to play with you guys in Lawbreakers when it comes out. But I think that's, as of right now, all I can think of what makes or breaks a game for me. Anything more from you guys?
Nope.
Awesome. Well, Kyle, thank you again for your question. And again, to anyone tuning in, we'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. And before we get to our last question, which comes from Chief Beef. If you're wondering why you've ever submitted a question and wondering why it's not included on a specific episode, fear not. We have every intention to get to it. And a few of you have submitted questions recently, especially, that we're going to probably use as main topics in the near future. So if you're wondering why your question has not been read yet, we typically hold on to them for very specific reasons. So we are very excited to get to them. But lastly, Chief Beef says, "Hey guys, I've been listening for a while now, and it's the only podcast I've kept up with." Well, Chief Beef, that is very honorable to hear. And it actually, I got to be honest, it surprises me when people say that, because it's very humbling to hear that. We appreciate you guys supporting us. But he says, "Keep doing what you do best. Thank you." He says, "During my time listening, I've heard Halo 2 mentioned a few times. The game itself is a favorite of mine, being the first online game I experienced. It made me think back to glitches that me and my friends would do, such as super jumping. My question is, do you recall any favorite or funny glitches that have happened to you while playing games?" I've mentioned a plethora in the past, which I may reiterate upon a few of them, but you guys, any glitches that are either hilarious or just astounding to you that you've experienced in any game, whether it be multiplayer or single player?
I used to actually be really into glitches in Zelda games in particular, like just getting out of bounds and stuff.
Right.
There were a few in Twilight Princess that I did. No point to them. You just get out of bounds and just run around, and that was it.
Yeah.
There were a few in Modern Warfare, the original, as well. Like on Crossfire, for instance, I knew how to get out of that map, and I could run around the outside.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that I used, oh gosh, so much in Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life to get infinite money. It had to do with you like selling something, but you could like get infinite money. So I use that quite a bit. I used to be really into glitches, just like to kind of cheat my way to get like infinite resources and stuff. I used to look them up all the time. There was that one in Fallout 4 where you could do an infinite amount of objects. You could break that. I believe you used that one.
Skyrim.
What's that?
With the Skyrim Smith in what's that town called?
Oh yeah.
Where you could just take all like the resources you need.
I remember that. Yeah.
Make anything.
Yeah, that's how you can level up your
smithing.
Yeah, smithing skill very quickly.
I had my smithing skill at like 100 when I first played Skyrim, and I was like the lowest level. I had like full on Dragon Ball.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never really have unintentional like glitches I'm not trying to get happen. I've had a pretty clean record in terms of games not crashing and stuff. So none are really sticking out to me right now.
There are certain gaming cultures that fascinate me. For example, the speedrunning culture is amazing to me, and also people that play games, not entirely for this reason, but play games with the intention of trying to break them to see if they can. So I think that's always interesting to watch people do things like that in games that are unique, whether it be a speedrun or trying to find every glitch in a game. But I mean, I won't hammer on this too long, as I've said it 1,000 times, but the glitchiest game I've ever played in my life is Call of Duty 3. like the teleportation glitch I've mentioned is the most fascinating thing. I don't know if you can still find clips, because funny enough, as amazing as that glitch was and as popular as it was back in the day, it's actually hard to find that clip on YouTube of people using that glitch still. That is by far the most fascinating glitch I've ever seen in a game, where you can literally teleport across a map and score your flag instantly and capture the flag. I'll never forget finding that out and being able to do that. And then flying through the air in certain points where you could get up literally into the clouds and snipe from there. No one could shoot you because there's an invisible barrier. And people could constantly find walls to go through and get underground where you could shoot people all day long. Especially if you played support and had infinite ammo, you could sit underground a whole match and kill people. And of course, people would quit eventually because they'd get pissed. But the funny thing was when people would glitch through a wall and hide underground in certain points, I'd know how to get in there. So I would just go underground, kill them, and then I'd have to kill myself to get out. But that was always funny. But there was countless glitches in that game that still blow my mind to this day. Like you mentioned, Chief Beef, super jumping in Halo is classic, of course. And my favorite glitch, I don't even know if you call it a glitch, it's just kind of like a buggy mechanic, was the BXR glitch, where you could melee, go to reload, but cancel it by firing your weapon. And specifically, it was best with the battle rifle in the game.
It's not really a glitch.
Yeah, it isn't really a glitch. It's just like a janky mechanic that people kind of... It's funny, I don't think they ever patched it either, because it was so predominant among pro players, where you would melee and instantly shoot them. And if you got that move in, you would almost always kill the person up close. So it was hard to master, because it sounds so simple, but doing that correctly every time can be difficult. But I always found that to be a really cool one. There's been so many over time, it's hard to remember. I mean, I mentioned in the past, I briefly was in collaboration with this website called Map Monkeys for a little while in the 360 days, where their only goal was to find every glitch in every game possible. And anytime I would find a glitch, more often than not in Call of Duty, I would just email them, hey, I found a new glitch, and they would send a guy online with me, and he'd capture me doing a glitch, and they'd put it on their website, which I thought was the coolest thing. That was my first intro into capturing gameplay and it going on the internet. I thought that was the coolest thing back in the day. And it's weird to think now, every now and then I'll be uploading a video and it'll be like, I don't know how many we have now. Because YouTube has been glitched before. I know we have over 300. I think we may even be close to 400 now. But I think we've cranked out 400 videos. Is insane. I know there's YouTube channels that have thousands, but just for us, between the three of us, to crank out 400 something or close to it is mind-blowing to me. But I remember back in the day, anyone recording me or me just trying, like when I recorded my TV making that machinima, which I'm still going to post on Discord eventually, I promise. It's kind of everything else on that YouTube channel can be used as blackmail against me, because it's very embarrassing. So I kind of got to peel all that off and then share the video. Because there's some videos of me and Preston on there that are quite embarrassing, but they were hilarious to us at the time. But and we'll share that at some point.
All of those.
Yeah. But recording my TV was like me trying to record my own gameplay for the first time. I thought that was the coolest thing. Like, oh my gosh, I've posted a video game video to the internet. I don't know how I got on this topic, but originally it started with me trying to find glitches in video games. So I know there's a lot of Gears of War glitches too. Can't remember anything specific, but I was pretty glitchy. But my bulk of my glitching memories were in Call of Duty 3, especially. But yeah, that's it from me, boys. Anything else from you guys?
One of my favorite glitches of all time. I forgot about it. I could completely bypass Ganon's castle in Ocarina of Time.
And what do you mean by bypass?
At the end of Ocarina of Time, in Ganon's castle, you have to go through like all the mini dungeons to open up the corridor to go up to see him.
Yes.
You could bypass that by going into the Spirit Temple section, push this statue against a wall, and jump / into the corner, and you would phase through the wall, and you'd be back on the outside, but none of the textures have loaded, and you can just like run right past that barrier and right into like that middle corridor to where you can run up the stairs to go fight him.
And it actually works when you get there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. How convenient. That's awesome.
I used to do that all the time as a kid, just skip that part.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, boys,
that's about
in
it for
editing,
me.
I don't know if this will be over 3 hours or not, because I have to obviously trim out the crap at the beginning, but we may have hit 3 hours, which is really impressive. And some people may hate that.
Is that impressive?
I think it is. I mean, to talk that long, I mean, granted, we talked about a bunch of BS at the beginning for an hour and a half, but still, I had a ton of fun talking to you guys this week.
Yeah, I know we've already said it, but I guess I will reiterate one more time. We do have timestamps in the description. I believe on Spotify and iTunes as well, correct, Garrett?
That is correct.
So if you don't want to listen to us talk about Taco Bell or any other stupid things, you can skip to the game discussion where we do inevitably get sidetracked in that as well and go off and talk about other things. So you're not safe from our ramblings anywhere. But that was episode 108 of the It's Obvious Gaming podcast. The show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games, obviously. You can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If you listen to us anywhere but youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming, please come here and subscribe and maybe like this video if you like it, dislike it if you don't like it, but I'm sure you like it. So just don't even think about disliking it.
We're going to get a dislike.
Pretty smooth, right? I know I deserve it after that one. Sorry. But subscribing to us on YouTube and liking and commenting down in the comments helps us out a ton, and we'd love to hear from you, especially if we haven't heard from you in the first place. Also subscribe to us on iTunes, even if you don't listen to us there. Just showing that you subscribe to us, that helps us out a ton. We definitely want to get more predominant on iTunes. We want to do whatever it takes to become available to, as many people as possible. And the more we're subscribed to, the more we're liked, the more comments on our videos, the more people on iTunes have subscribed and rate us. That just grows our audience and our potential to meet more people. So if you have any free time whatsoever and enjoy what we do, just doing any of those small things benefits us tremendously. So we would forever appreciate it. But gentlemen, that's our longest podcast ever. Like you said, that I'm pretty winded. My throat is a little sore. I haven't had any water with me this entire time. So
that's awful. I actually, for the first time ever, had to go get more water because I drank all of it before we even started the bulk of the podcast. So,
dude, I'm out of water bottles at the house, and our water filter is out of water too. So I literally have no water.
What would soothe that pain, my friend?
What?
Well, obviously water, but a good Gatorade or a Baja Blast Freeze.
I thought you were going to make this a dirty joke.
No, absolutely not.
My semen will soothe your throat.
Yeah, that's more like it. It will. But again, huge shout out to everyone who tunes into this podcast. I know we are still small, but we appreciate all of your support. Has been, as I said, humbling, and it's been a great honor connecting with all of you from around the world. It's fascinating. And please comment down below on anything that interests you this week. And again, we're close to 1,600 subscribers on YouTube. We'd love to have at least 4 more of you join us over here and say hello. It'd be awesome. We love hearing from you guys. Even if you just want to reach out through email or a direct message and just want to talk, we'd be happy to talk to you guys. We love hearing from you. But again, streams every Tuesday and Thursday night around 9 p.m. Eastern, if you even know what that means, depending on where you are in the world.
This week might be weird.
Yeah, it might be weird. I think we may try Monday and Wednesday due to 4th of July here in the States, and Spider-Man Thursday night. We're so excited we have to see Spider-Man. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. But we're very excited to connect with you this week beyond the podcast as well, if you enjoy our additional content. So yeah.
Absolutely. And again, if for some reason this setup, us Skyping in and stuff, has somehow made the podcast worse than normal, just due to technical things, we apologize. This is definitely not the norm, especially if you're watching this for the first time. All 3 of us are typically together, and we can touch each other and be a little bit more intimate than we are.
Right.
So just keep that in mind if this is your first time. But gentlemen, I think that'll do it. That'll wrap it up for everything. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you guys. I will definitely be there next week. And
you had a big weekend.
You did.
Yeah, it was okay, I guess.
Literally a life-changing weekend.
Literally, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I can see you again, by the way. I'm looking at you.
Oh, hi.
I can either look at you here or look at you here. I'm going to pretend like you're floating right next to us.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us, Preston.
Oh, thanks for...
I can't do that.
Thanks for letting me phone in, dude.
Yes.
Through the power of the internet.
Isn't that a quote from something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, from Boogie 2988. That gentleman.
Yep. All right, well, I think that'll wrap it up. We appreciate everybody that is tuned in, and we hope to see you next time.
Absolutely. You guys have a good week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I gotta poo-poo hard.